Good morning, this is the News Wire. I'm Leah Ubaga. The High Court will today rule on whether Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu has powers to constitute a three-judge bench to hear Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment case. Gachagua's lawyers argued that the bench can only be constituted by the Chief Justice, a position objected to by the respondents' lawyers. All cases involving impeached DP Gachagua's petitions have been consolidated, with President William Ruto being included as a respondent in the consolidated matter. Gachagua on Tuesday appeared in person for the mentioning of a petition by the Attorney General seeking a three-judge bench to vacate conservatory orders issued by Justices Chacha Mwita and Richard Mwongo, stopping the assumption of office of Kithure Kindiki as Deputy President.
My point is this: look beyond Rigathi Gachagua. Look also to the people who feel we've not been given a square deal and we are being disenfranchised, we are being emasculated from the political system.
Beneficiaries of ex parte orders stand before this court and say only they are entitled to ex parte orders. They are here to complain that they went before Judge Mwongo, they went before Judge Mwita, they got ex parte orders with finality, and that was okay.
And Kenya's High Court ruled that a controversial housing levy introduced last year as part of measures to try to shore up public finances was lawful. The verdict means the government of President William Ruto can continue with the scheme after a previous court ruling had declared it illegal in November 2023. The 1.5% levy on the salaries of all tax-paying Kenyans to be matched by employers was signed into law in June last year to fund an affordable housing program, but faced multiple legal challenges. The levy was imposed as part of legislation that raised taxes on a wide range of items, adding to the hardship of Kenyans already hit by the high inflation.
Public participation was conducted in respect of the Public Finance Act, where the Affordable Housing Levy was originally introduced and anchored under Section 84 of the Finance Act.
Are of the view that the Act does not offend the principle of devolution because the Affordable Housing Board under Section 16 has representation, both national and county government.
All hospitals that are licensed to provide treatment to Kenyans using SHA will be required to provide all medical services. Medical Services PS Harry Kimtai has said that the action aims to face the nightmare of fraud that has been perpetuated by the hospitals. Speaking in Mombasa after meeting with the commissioners and health ministers of all the counties in the coast region, Kimtai said that so far a total of 7,000 hospitals have been authorized to provide treatment through the SHA program.
By close of business this week, we should have published all those who have empaneled and contracted to provide service under SHA. Any other, at that time you can now say we can take action, because there are those who are giving us excuses. They said the system was not working properly, some very flimsy excuses. But now we want to publish them, that these are the ones who have been contracted, so that if a Kenyan goes there and you're asked for cash up front, then that's the time now we'll tell you this is the one who is demanding cash up front, and will take action against that particular facility.
Now, regarding some private hospitals that still owe the government NHIF, Kimtai has said that strategies to pay those debts are ongoing.
We have started to pay all the facilities. Last week, we released 1.5 billion Kenya shillings. This week, as directed by His Excellency in his Mashujaa Day speech, he directed that another 3 billion Kenya shillings to be released this week to be paid to the outstanding bills that we owe the faith-based, public and the private hospitals. So the government will give its commitment that they will continue reducing the outstanding debts to a level where nobody will be having any debt. Going forward, we have also made sure that within the new system, we should not exceed more than 90 days claims that are pending.
And in the international scene, Democratic U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris held a marginal 46% to 43% lead over Republican former President Donald Trump, with a glum electorate saying the country is on the wrong track. A new Reuters Ipsos poll found. Harris led in the 6-day poll, which closed on Monday, differed little from her 45% to 42% advantage over Trump in the poll conducted a week earlier, reinforcing the view that the contest is extraordinarily tight with just 2 weeks left before the November 5th election. The new poll showed that voters have a dim view of the state of the economy and immigration, and they generally favored Trump's approach on these issues. That's the News Wire. I'm Leah Ubaga.
On SpiceFM.
The man who looks at a beautiful girl and doesn't talk to her will end up serving lunch at her wedding.
Aya, City, do like that.
My father has killed a mouse. Will he fail to kill a man?
Ameua panya.
Small mammal, big mammal.
Mtu atamshinda.
I mean, I don't know. How are we comparison? I mean, you kill a mouse.
What are they saying?
What they're saying is, my father has killed a mouse. Will he fail to kill a man? Name, surprise. Someone's name.
The name surprised you?
No, the name is surprise.
No, what am I saying? I'm from Nigeria, man. I met somebody called I Believe. So
See?
Your name is I Believe? Yes, my name is I Believe. But that's the short form. I said, excuse me? I said, yes. My name is I Believe. So what's the full name? I believe in the goodness of
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Good morning, and I love your show.
Thank you.
Having come from a Kikuyu radio background, I migrated to Spice because of the content.
I was born in a slum, but somehow I got a break in life. So sometimes when you see the sweating coming out because of the passion and whatever it is, behind the noise, there are people, and we share the same umbilical cord.
It shouldn't be like that. I am so disappointed. We used to tell Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga that he's doing police of conmanship, and even President Uhuru Kenyatta, serikali hii ndio iko na conmanship ya hali ya juu. You cannot promise people that you reduce tax, then you double.
In politics, there is the issue of trust. For you to turn around and then stab the same people who gave you that trust, there is no other level of dishonesty. And hii mambo utaona dunia tu.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Patrick Lodge, Otieno Lumumba. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
CT Muga.
Trouble. Is he the same man?
Spice.
Alayo. If we just gloss over issues and hope that time heals, then we might find that in generations to come, we might be back at the same situation. And the whole thing is born of stolen elections.
Spice.
When it comes to the decisions you make, you must be independent. There's no way you can allow one institution to dictate to you how you're going to conduct your operations, how you're going to decide cases. It's a no.
When you weaken the institution to the point where they cannot take action, then you realize that politicians have to come up and now start dealing with the issues.
That conversation has to die. Our politicians do not like the hard stuff. We must insist on the path of doing things right, whether popular or unpopular.
Money changes hands. That is a fact. If you have political goodwill at the highest top, like in Rwanda, then corruption will be an issue of the past. If you don't have political goodwill at the top, we will pass laws, we will amend laws, we will continue passing laws and re-amending laws, and nothing will happen.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
It's Wednesday morning. Welcome to Wednesday and welcome to the roads. Wherever you are, if you're finding traffic, just let us know. Tag us on SpiceFM KE on X and we will know that there's an issue. But from what I'm seeing on the maps, nothing to report. Not on Mombasa Road, not on Thika Superhighway, not on Jogoo Road, not on Langata, Limuru, Ngong, Juja, Outer Ring, Kangundo. Nothing. So it's all okay for now.
This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Yes, City, mambo?
Mambo mazuri bwana. Na wewe waendeleaje bwana?
Safi kabisa.
Mapya?
Sina mapya mimi.
Kuna? Hapa na iko nayo.
Nina furaha ndani ya amani.
Wewe una furaha ndani ya roho.
Yesu, nafanya niwe jasiri. I want to see whether this song will play. I don't know.
It's one delightful song.
Sindio?
Kabisa.
Kabisa. Shika upanga wako, umukate. Shika upanga wako, umukate pepo. Ay, kabisa. Welcome to Wednesday, everybody. Leo ni siku ya kushika upanga na kumukata pepo. Kata yeye pepo. Kabisa. Yeah, it is Wednesday. We're going to have several conversations, and those conversations will be looking at various things that are happening in the country. So number one, we've been talking about these ride-hailing apps, right? And we had Bolt Boss in the studio for the last 2 weeks. And even as we're having those conversations, much of the feedback that we're getting online was from the drivers who are still feeling we still have issues that we need to raise. Yeah, so today we have decided to invite the drivers to come and speak to us. David Muteru is the chair of the Digital Taxi Association of Kenya. They have an association. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. And it's not one.
Eh?
No,
there are several associations.
Yes, there are.
So David will come and tell us how many they are. Na hiyo mambo yote. A driver's perspective on ride-hailing apps, pricing dynamics, and the safety concerns. They'll come and tell us, why are they so rude? Why? Why are they asking us to pay extra when the app has told us to pay 200?
Why are they adding? Wanajiongezea sio?
Nini wanapiga kelele? Why? And all so on and so forth. David Muteru comes at 8 a.m. At 7 o'clock, we'll be talking about catalyzing Africa's digital future. Now, this is an important conversation. You know, of all these things that are happening. DP, do you have a DP? Do you have DP stuff? Do you not have DP stuff? Can we also talk about other things that are happening? For example, this one. We have invited the director of ICT in the State Department for ICT and Digital Economy, John Kiria, to come and speak to us. How do you suppose he pronounces his name?
He will tell us.
Kiria.
Kiria.
Oh, Kiria. Kiria.
I'm not being dragged into that one. He will come and tell us how
he pronounces his name. Yes. 7 a.m. Yes. He'll be joined by a gentleman called Damien O'Sullivan. He is the chief executive at ICDL Foundation. Well, we'll also find out what ICDL Foundation and ECDL and ICDL Foundation are all about. Those are the conversations. At 9, we will come and ask you to participate in various conversations. So all these things that we're seeing in the country, okay? Court. It's dragging on for long. It's going, it's not coming. It's going, it's not coming. When are citizens' issues going to be discussed, okay?
Yes, when are they going to be center stage?
When are they going to be center stage? So we shall have a Lest We Forget conversation at 9 a.m. Okay? Lest all these leaders of ours forget, these are the issues that Kenyans consider highly important. That's our 9 a.m. conversation. At 17 minutes after 6, I can see many people are already online. Karibuni sana, all of you who are online. Let's tell you about the weather, and then we shall look at what? The newspaper headlines after the proverb.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to the weather with SpiceFM.
Okay, so it's going to be a warm day again in Nairobi. This Nairobi weather. So one day it's raining, the next day it's hot, and then the other day you don't even know. You're not sure what's going to happen to it. It's going to be a warm one in Nairobi today. Right now it's warming up. It's currently at 14 degrees. It's sunny in Mombasa at 25, in Malindi 26, in Kakamega 18, Eldoret is 12, Nakuru is 12, Nyeri is 15, Addis is 12, Mogadishu is 26, Dar es Salaam is 25, Johannesburg is 9, Lagos is 24, Kinshasa is 25, cloudy in Kampala at 20, Dar es Salaam of said is 25, Paris is 8, London is 12, New York is clear skies at 18, and Beijing is sunny at 15.
Pure, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
There are many people online, and we thank you very much for joining us this early morning. Nani hawa wako online, watu kadhaa. Mokohu Wairimu says, good morning from Kisumu Dala. You have a blessed day. Na wapenda sana. Mwambie tunampenda pia.
Tunakupenda sana.
Yes. Irene Wairimu says, Kenya is politics day in, day out. Next campaigning for 2027 alignment. Water and Jiko issues we need to discuss. Yes, Irene, we shall be discussing those ones at 9. Lois Busira, good morning, Team Spice. Good morning to you, Rachel Wanjiro. Karibu sana. Musi Els, Karibu. Margaret Wanjohi, good morning. Locked in from Houston, Texas. Happy to be here. Let's continue the great conversation. Yeah, we appreciate your presence all the time. Margaret, asante sana for tuning in. Juris Tiriwa, Kata Mrima Nazakayo. Bro Samondieki, good morning. We find ourselves in murky waters, courtesy of Raila and ODM. Were it not for them joining hands with Ruto, this impeachment would not have happened. Okay. Mark Mwangi, good morning, Erican City. Ask Senior Muga, Eric, if he'll be willing to be Kenya's eminent person, tumtume na upanga, akate hoyo pepo. Amevamia hii serikali. Tukutume. Pepo, panga tuko nayo. Pepo tumemu-identify. Tunataka tu mzee wa kukata pepo. Utajitolea City. Je, will you stand up to the count?
Wacha ni mjibu huo mpendwa. Nimeshukuru sana na nimesema asante. Yes.
Yeah. Nyeri anasema leo namsalimia Madam Lea Ubaga and then Erican City. Sasa Nyeri from Doha, please salimia wengine pia. Salimia Lydiah.
Avin.
Avin. Salimia Asha. Waambie wote unawapenda. Anne Gore, our president forgot he's fighting the son of Mau Mau. Let him ask the British government. This is just the beginning. Agola love the music. Outkin City and Latiff salamu kutoka St. Petersburg, Florida. Mambo poa. Sam Chule, Mwafrika. Joseph Ondigi. Matthew Okioko. Good morning. Barikweni sana. Sam Chule. Good morning team. George Okoth. Eunice Okello, Pastor Joseph Watata Kimani, Christine Munai, Ongena Malala, Johnson Nasava, Robert Bogo, Jack Tambo, Davis Weeds, Joe Mungai, hawa wote wako inside, and we say good morning to you all, including Sir George Kashuri, who is always tuned in this early in the morning. We appreciate your presence every early morning. City. So second day of Proverbs from
the Republic of Tunisia.
The Republic of Tunisia.
Yes.
It's a republic.
The Republic, Baba.
So they have a president.
President, El Presidente. It's a unitary presidential republic.
Okay.
The president is named Kais Saied.
Kais Saied.
Yes.
Okay.
And the prime minister is called Kamel Madouri. Then they have a legislative parliament.
The prime minister of Tunisia is called Kamel.
Yes, Kamel. Okay. Kamel. Madouri.
Okay.
Singamia.
Okay.
So, okay, they have a parliament, they have an upper house, a national council of regions and districts. Then they have a lower house, assembly of the representatives of the people. Very interesting, this one.
Upper house of regions and districts.
Yes, that is the upper house. National Council of Regions and Districts. And they have a lower house, assembly of the representatives of the people. Umeshika yo?
Imeshika.
Right. He sells the monkey No. Not he sells seashells by the seashore. Serious, he sells seashells by the seashore. So, okay?
He sells
the monkey and makes fun of the one who buys it.
He sells the monkey and makes fun of the one who buys it. Yet he's the one who sold the monkey.
Yes. So I will
dunia unaweza uza anything.
Bwana jamaa ameenda bwana ati nimeuza tumbili na jamaa akanunua. Why?
Okay.
Yes.
Tuangalie hapa magazeti yalivyo. All right. Do you have the Star?
Pana iko na Star lakini sisi tangalia yeye. Yes, shortly.
Okay.
Give me a moment.
Do the moment.
And then we shall look at Z Star.
What you can do first
is
let me tell you what's on the Standard. House of Convenience of MPs and Priorities. Members of the National Assembly are being criticized for having taken a break after impeaching the DP, but on matters wananchi, those can wait. Yeah. So they even had a special sitting on Friday to discuss Kithure Kindiki. After that, they've gone again on another break. Matters of public importance, for example, students are sitting their KPSEA and their KCSE exams, and their transition is not very clear, and none of those ones can wait. What's the hurry? Ruto moneymen face acid test in Washington, D.C. So, yeah, the Bretton Woods institutions are meeting for their annual meeting, the gathering of where they come and talk money, and they talk important things. And our guys are there. Our two moneymen are the central bank governor, anaitwa nani Thuge? Kamau Thuge. And our National Treasury CS, anaitwa nani Mbadi?
John.
Those two are leading Kenya's delegation in Washington, D.C. Of course, I expect that the chair of the president's economic advisors must be there, among others. The main headline in the Standard today, the high cost of getting rid of DP Gachagua. A bar of the country's finest lawyers has been tapped to litigate the case that should see the impeached deputy president either retire from public life or retain his seat. This, coupled with the effort, time and resources used to mobilize MPs, makes the process an expensive affair. And it's just the beginning. Ndio mwanzo mkoko umealika maua. Tulia. Funzwe ngoma. Pain of housing tax here to stay. It's a major loss for Kenyans workers who will now pay for houses that they may never live in after the controversial levy was okayed by the High Court yesterday. Sawa bwana. Blinken hopes 11th visit to Gaza will unlock peace deal. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken left for the Middle East Monday on a new push for an elusive Gaza ceasefire 2 weeks before U.S. pause. He's heading there for the 11th time, trying to tell Netanyahu, please calm down. And Netanyahu is like, umerudi? Ebu ngoja hapo kidogo na deal na Iran. Alikuwa anasema nini? Ngoja Hezbollah wako hapa Lebanon. Alikuwa anasema Gaza tumeua kale kajamaa kao last week. Alikuwa anasema ngoja kidogo. Blinken goes back to America. Elections imeanza. Netanyahu.
Ameleta nyahu. Sindio? Walicheza na nyahu. Sasa wameletewa sio?
Kabisa. Haya, let me tell you, do you have the Star?
Iko.
Very good.
Yes. This one is an interesting headline. But let me leave the headline for the moment. That's the bang in the middle of the paper. You will make it. Babu Owino tells KCSE KPSEA's candidates.
Right.
Babu Owino doing the rounds, congratulating students, giving them hope. Wanapatia mazee, wache niwatie moto kidogo, siwe na wasiwasi, hii kitu you shall overcome. Sindio?
Hii kitu tunagonga hii.
Hii usijali bwana, nani kama wewe and so forth. Ruto meets Pan-African House President over AU reforms. Okay? KPLC lists areas to experience power cuts Wednesday. Wednesday is today. Okay? So from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. there are areas in this country where unakaa ukiangalia power zup hakuna. Sawa? Yeah, simple. Digital sector to earn Kenya 600 billion by the year 2028. DP ouster judges to rule Wednesday on recusal from case. To stay or not to stay?
In their own case.
In their own case. Properly constituted or improperly constituted.
My friend. Wanapatana na Paul Kibogi Mwite.
Weza hiyo. Jamaa amefufuka bwana.
Ako na game plan.
Mazee hii bwana. This is one of these things where just when people thought you are down and out. Umesema hapana. Hey, excuse me.
Yesterday they spent a whole day discussing whether that bench should have sat on Saturday.
Yes.
Whole day. Now today they rule whether they should have sat on Saturday. Now then we shall ask, should you recuse yourselves from this?
Let me tell you. Unajua yale ambayo tuliyazungumzia ukasema there is nothing as wonderful as what is happening in terms of just citizen education. This one. Every citizen of this country who's following these cases will become a lawyer.
Yes.
Okay, this one, if you look at chapter this of the other, and article this and the other, it doesn't contradict chapter that and the other. Body of hijab-clad female found in Machakos. All right, then bang in the middle of the paper, they're saying Parliament probes. No, that's not bang. That's on the side of the bang. Parliament probes a contract cost of sports academy. You know, us and our things of costs and cost overruns. Well, yes, it's being probed here, and we wonder why. Raila pushes for bigger stake as shake-up looms. This is bang in the middle of the paper. ODM.
Sasa kichwa iko ndani, mabega iko ndani, sasa mkia iko nje. Sasa mkia ingia ndani.
And yet ODM is not part of the government.
No. ODM has not joined the government.
No, they have not joined the government. Okay?
We're only donating
to be experts. Or not to be, no, to just donation. So they want the donation to increase.
Yes.
Is that not so?
Yes.
Right. Hey, we live in a very, very interesting country.
The Daily Nation has these headlines. Ruto's big win as court upholds his pet housing plan. Detectives. Okay, so I've been seeing videos lately of the various different housing projects. So houses are actually being built. Now the condition of the houses inside and all, that's a different conversation. The optic of the houses will be a different conversation. All right? And maybe just to play safe, register for Boma Yangu. So then, when those houses start being distributed, you're ready.
Uko
tayari, uko bomayangu.go.ke, just register, uchukue nyumba. Si unalipa tax? Hey, bwana.
Na utakukata pesa.
Na unakatwa pesa? Utakatwa. Detectives probing job scam suspect moved to Bonny Forest, far-flung station. Some 12 officers who are investigating recruitment companies accused of conning thousands of desperate job seekers have been transferred in questionable circumstances. So, they have been taken to Bonny Forest. These guys were investigating companies that are conning people here with jobs going due to Middle East, due to Europe, due to Australia, due to Canada, due to right?
Bonny Forest
These big companies. Yes?
I was in Kilifi, sorry.
Bonny Forest, yes, is in Kilifi, Okoh, next to Lamu.
Yes, it's far.
It's actually, I think, in Lamu.
And what are they doing in Bonny Forest?
See, they're investigating employment of Al-Shabaab.
In Bonny Forest?
An investigator can investigate anything, all right? Yeah.
Okay.
You're trained in investigation, not in recruitment of jobs.
All right.
Varsity Dons issue another strike notice in pay dispute. I don't know why I'm coughing this morning.
It's not just you, but you see, I am also coughing. There's something that's irritating.
There's something in the air.
It would appear so. Because every time we come here, we seem to begin the morning with a little coughing here and there.
Yeah. I think we should take a week off. They first deal with the studios, you know?
No, whatever it is that they do for these things.
Take a week off so that they can... They have a feature inside the Daily Nation today. I mourned the loss of my breasts. I think this is a woman who went through mastectomy. Yes. How Kirinyaga MCA's daughter was killed. They're still following up the story. The daughter of a ward rep from Kirinyaga County who was found murdered in Biafra Estate in Thika, Kiambu County on October 14th was strangled to death. Remember this story? This girl left her mom's house in Kamakis in Ruiru.
Yes.
Went to meet a friend in Thika. And then she was found in a house, dead. Now, apparently, it's showing that she was strangled to death. A young 23-year-old girl. Very sad. Bang in the middle of the Daily Nation today. Eyes on judges. Ousted Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's lawyers take on the bench. Rigathi yesterday stalled a petition seeking to lift an order blocking the swearing-in of his successor as he questioned the role of Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu in naming a 3-judge bench hearing the case. While he argued this was the exclusive mandate of Chief Justice Martha Koome, the respondents countered the CJ had delegated. What will the courts decide today? That's what will be coming up. Hiya, I've got the Business Daily. Land prices rise fastest as cost of apartments drops. Land prices in Nairobi and the surrounding counties of Kiambu, Kajiado and Machakos have increased by the largest margin in nearly a decade on the back of investors seeking space to build apartments amid concerns over a glut of apartments. Okay. KRA targets small traders with WhatsApp tax invoicing. The Kenya Revenue Authority plans to roll out a WhatsApp chat bot that will enable taxpayers to generate electronic tax invoices using the popular messaging app in a bid to further boost voluntary tax compliance, especially among small traders. I like this. Make it as simple as possible. You want to generate a tax invoice, you just go to WhatsApp, KRA bot, you tell it, KRA, I want an invoice. Okay, put in the details, amount, this, particulars, this, PIN number of the person that you are billing, this. It generates for you a tax invoice. Simple like that. If they go this route, that's what we call now including other people.
Actually, that one, you then eliminate all the excuses somebody will have with regards to the difficulty of actually complying.
And you make it much easier. This thing of telling someone to you go, log on to do it to you.
That thing is complicated.
It starts giving math, headache there. 95 minus 75.
And that is before the system hangs on you.
Yeah, and then the system hangs.
Then you have to start all over again.
You don't know where you're going. And you're just a small trader. Ile kitu nataka is just to bill for these things that you've supplied. New car purchases deep for the third year. Kenyans have cut the purchase of new vehicles for the third year running because of the deterrent cost of borrowing and the lagged effect of higher taxation amid thinning pay slips. IMF slashes Kenya's 2025 growth prospects to 5%. So Kenya is still growing, okay? But this time it will be at 5%. This is actually above the global average. You know, we've been talking about these things. So Kenya's economy has been growing. Where is the money? Economy
I think let's look for an economist to explain to us this growth thing. I think we may be looking at the wrong place. Maybe growth is looked for.
We don't understand.
I think I'm convinced I don't understand.
This GDP, we're looking at different.
Yes. Growth, nini, and yet our problems will be increasing. So does growth have to do with problems? So that when we say that the economy is growing, it means our problems are also growing. Is that what it means?
I don't know.
Well,
we
look for an economist, people who understand. There are people who understand these things.
Yes. The People Daily, they have a story here on regions with the highest concentration of women batterers.
Sorry.
Regions with the highest concentration of women batterers.
People who are on beating women.
Yes. Cases that have been reported about domestic violence, men, GBV, gender-based violence, right? MPs query 1 billion shilling sports academy construction deal. These guys are not stopping. People Daily is on this case like white on rice. There's something that's happening with the building of our stadium ahead of AFCON.
Actually,
People Daily have a story every day on this. Every day.
So essentially, wameshikilia daily.
Wameshikilia People Daily. CS Ogamba speaks tough on exam cheating as KCSE starts. And then they also tell us why President picked Kindiki as new deputy. Okay. Taifa Leo. KICD motoni kuhusu vitabu vya Kifaransa. Shule za watoto viziwi na vipofu walipewa vitabu vya Kifaransa kimakosa. Unasikia bana? Shule za watoto viziwi na vipofu walipewa vitabu vya Kifaransa. Haya basi, ni Kenya yetu. Wapelelezi wahamishwa hali tatanishi. Wagonjwa kutibiwa bila kadi. Gavana Kiari yebadilisha, aagiza hospitali zote kutibu wagonjwa bila kadi za SHA. Gavana Kiari yebadilisha ni wapi unajua?
Hapana,
Nyandarua. Yes. Aliyekuwa rais wa Peru amefungwa jela miaka 20. Alifungwa kwa miaka 20 na miezi 6 kutokana na sakata ya ufisadi. Huko Peru,
This former president.
Yes.
And yes, it is alleged that he had been involved in taking a bribe from some huge construction conglomerate whose origins are in Brazil. Sasa hapo ndio shida ilitokea.
Shida.
These fellows want to follow in the footsteps of South Korea, who have
even Brazil.
These fellows like jailing former presidents.
Yeah. Brazil is the one that's a good game. Brazil, unaingia ndani unatoka na kuwa president tena.
So there's life after death.
Lula da Silva.
Sisi alikuwa amepewa scholarship.
Kama ameingizwa pale ndani. Alafu pia protege wake anaitwa nani yule mama?
Hata nimesahau jina yake.
Dilma Rousseff.
Yes, right? Yes.
Pia ndani. Da Silva is out, da Silva is back.
El Presidente.
Yes. Shauri yenu. Headline Taifa Leo: wafungiwa nje. Wafanyikazi wakuu na wangazi za chini wanaofanya kazi katika ofisi ya naibu wa rais aliyetimuliwa Rigathi Gachagua walirudishwa nyumbani jana asubuhi waliporipoti kazini katika Harambee House Annex Nairobi. This junior staff, they had not received any communication that they should go on compulsory leave. So they report to work. They get there, they find cops, balaclava, heavy guns, telling them,
where?
Toka hapa. Nafanya kazi hapa kwenda. Kwenda. Now they are wondering, so now, if we don't report to work, shall we be cited for
absconding?
Yeah. And yet, I'm a civil servant. I have not been told I go on leave. So what happens? 21 minutes to 7. Let's take a look at traffic.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
There's nothing like traffic right here now yet. It's still moving. Even Thika Superhighway is not, but Kiambu Road is clear. Mombasa Road heading towards Nairobi City Center is clear. You will not find traffic on Outer Ring Road. Neither will you find traffic on the bypasses, eastern, western, southern, northern. You will not find traffic on Langata Road if you left now. You will not find traffic on Ngong Road if you went coming to town from Westlands. You will also not find traffic at the usual area of Mogoga Green. You will not find traffic on Lower Kabete Road or Limuru Road. So just come.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
So, exams started yesterday, right? These are the KPSEA and the KCSE. The Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education exams, select subjects for Form 4 students, started yesterday, while the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment KPSEA tests for those in grade 6 will begin on October 28th to 30th. Despite the government's decision to hold a public announcement of top-performing students intended to reduce the competitive tension, many schools still resort to both ethical and questionable methods to secure high ranking. Parents find themselves caught in a web of extra charges aimed at boosting student performance, often leaving those with fewer financial resources feeling overwhelmed. Schools, particularly in major cities, expect students to remain in school during the extended exam period, demanding a payment ranging from 1,000 to 3,000 bob. For parents who are already struggling with school fees, these extra contributions can be devastating. For example, Jane Kanja, a parent whose daughter is in Form 4 at a public school in Vihiga, shared her frustrations. She said, "We've already committed, so we have no choice but to comply. I have a daughter who's been asked to pay money for special diet on top of the fees that I've already paid." You know, you're in Form 4, you're a candidate. You need to eat a special diet.
Yes.
So tell your parents to send money for special diet for exam period. You know, we want our children to be comfortable. So in the morning, we give them sausage, we give them eggs, we give them right? So they feel, when they're going to sit this exam, they are feeling
special diet.
Special, all right? Motivation fees have become a norm in schools during exam season. We were told the money will be paid to teachers who are in school to take students through revision during the exam period. That's the other thing. So, we are preparing the candidates. They're not called children anymore, students. They're called candidates. We are preparing candidates, and exams are starting in October, November. So the teachers are now working extra hard for revision. We are doing past papers. We are spending time just revising with the students. So to motivate the teachers, please pay something extra. The challenges are particularly worrying for parents like Hilda Waswa, who has limited financial means, who felt overshadowed by wealthier families dictating the terms of these additional costs. So imagine you're going to a school meeting as parents, and all the others are standing up and saying, our candidates, it's not learners or children, our candidates need, this is the final push. This is KCSE, this is a make or break for them. We need them to pass very well so they can go to university and pursue their dreams and careers. So I support what the headmistress and headmaster has said, that we motivate the teachers. I think 3,000 extra will be good. I endorse. Somebody else, I second. Somebody else, yeah, that passes. Somebody like now this lady called Hilda Waswa, she's sitting there wondering, kumeendaje? Wamesema nini? 3,000. Ya motivation. Before that conversation ends, there's something else. Now our children need to eat something better. So when they wake up in the morning, they feel like they're at home. They feel the home environment, how we feed them at home when they're going. If they were living at home, would be serving them, some warm, good breakfast in the morning. After the day, they come, we don't want them to eat the githeri with weevils. No. We give them a special diet, some rice, some chicken. And so I think for this, Madam Headmistress, Mr. Principal, I propose that we do something extra just to motivate our children. Maybe 5,000? I second. Hilda was 5,000. So, 3,000, 5,000. Hey, our candidates. By the time that meeting is over, parents have decided that they're paying an extra 20K for a month. Special diet money for students sitting exams is not an option. Schools demand the cash, which is supposed to be sent to the class teacher or handed to him or her in person. There is no receipt of the same payment. Parents with students in lower classes may consider transferring their children to day schools to avoid costs. But this option becomes impossible once the student is registered for national exams, as transferring at this stage is extremely difficult, barring serious health or disciplinary issues. Many parents are left wondering why these costs are not covered by the already high fees that they've already paid. It makes no sense that I must pay for additional tuition and special meals for a candidate when I have already paid tuition fees. Schools should budget for all expenses as per the law. This is another parent who was complaining. However, the Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association Chairman Willie Kuria dismissed the allegation, saying instead schools are for long sacrifice for the sake of students. Whoever is coming up with such a narrative should be specific and not label schools as milking parents of illegal levies. We do not charge parents for keeping students in school during the exam period. Kuria said, although the official term ends this week, candidates who stay in school will end their day when they sit for the last paper. Yeah. The school principals are saying, what are you talking about? We don't charge any extra.
Of course they don't.
No.
The charges charge it themselves.
And in fact, this conversation it doesn't emanate from the principal. We call parents to come so we can discuss. We just give them an update on how far we are in preparing the candidates for the exams. Then the parents themselves, led by the PTA chair or so and so, are the ones who come up and propose this. And the parents vote and they agree. So then that's why we don't even give a receipt, because it's just some chango. It's parents who come together to say, let's motivate our children. It's not us. Usikia maneno? Tell us the story.
Well, one of the things that I always find interesting about our politics is that it's not just blind, it is deaf. When you hear what is the focus of our political leaders, you single out someone like Babu Owino, who is in the headlines, and he's saying, well, this guy seems to be the only person who seems to be keen on understanding what it is that a member of parliament needs to do for constituents. And because East MP Babu Owino has sent his best wishes to the 2024 candidates sitting their national examination, Kenya Certificate of Secondary School exam started on Tuesday, while the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment exams, KEPSA, exams will start on Monday next week. Okay. A total of 965,501 candidates are writing the KCSE exam across 10,500 565 centers. And 1,303,913,000 candidates will sit for the KPC in 35,573 centers. Okay? This brings the total candidature for the 2024 national exams to 2,279,414 candidates countrywide. 2.7 million. No, it's not 2.7, 2.27 million. Okay? To the 965,000 students who are sitting the KC exams, wish you success. You will definitely make it, Babu Owino said. Okay? He conducted tutorial lessons through his Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube accounts, attracting huge viewerships that saw some candidates attribute the success of the exams to the sessions. Babu started the initiative during the COVID-19 pandemic by offering free mathematics classes to Form 4 and Standard 8 candidates. The legislator picked notable topics and were mostly examined in national exams. In 2020, Owino was recognized by the United Nations and the Voice of America for his online classes. The feature compiled by VOA was highlighted on the United Nations website. Babu has a Bachelor of Science degree in Actuarial Sciences from the University of Nairobi. Yes. He attained first-class honors in the discipline in 2012. He later enrolled for the UON as a law degree and graduated with an upper class honors upper division in 2020. Okay. Earlier, President William Ruto extended his best wishes to the candidates sitting for these two exams. All right. Yes.
Babu has actually been doing this thing, and I remember during the COVID he started just like that, and I watched some of it and I thought, he's actually really good.
He understands the stuff.
He's really, really good. When he's doing the math, he's like, okay, so this is the question. All right. So the first thing that you think about is this and this and this and the other. And like, this guy should actually be teaching. He's really good. He's really good.
You tell me, how many members of parliament do you know of who, during that particular period, thought of an initiative, not necessarily this one, thought an initiative that would benefit the students.
To support the children.
Yes, because both the students were out of school for a year.
For a long time, yes. Yeah, I don't know. He's actually, that's something that's commendable for Babu. And I've seen someone saying that Babu is very good at doing the revisions better than legislating. That could also be debated by his constituents who voted for him overwhelmingly to come back into parliament.
Yes.
But yeah, I look at Babu Owino and I'm like, this kid has like several faces to him, right?
Yes.
On the one hand, he's actually certifiably sharp.
He's extremely bright.
He is a very bright guy, right? So, first class honors in law.
Those are not the only two degrees he has.
Actuarial science. He went ahead and did masters in them.
Let me tell you, actuarial sciences are difficult.
Yeah. And your Okoh, he's a very sharp kid.
When you think of the example that legislator set, why I picked on this story, you see, he stands head and shoulders above very many of his colleagues in the August House. Because this is somebody who is participating and is involved in things that are not only notable, but whose direct impact on the growing population in this country can be seen. It's visible.
Yes.
There's no talk of KCDF. There's none of that talk. It is him going out of his way to ensure that he helps using what he already has.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you, Babu.
Yeah.
Yes.
He should find a way of actually institutionalizing it a bit more. I don't know how he can do it, but that's something. So, remember when the housing levy was first introduced in the Finance Bill and Finance Act of 2023, and the court said, no, you cannot just introduce a finance levy through a housing levy through a finance bill. No, a levy is anchored in a principal legislation. You can't just put it there they had put in some funny legislation. No. So they went back to Parliament, they came up with a housing levy law, and they put it there. Somebody went back to court, Senator Okiya Omtata, and they said, that's law. is unconstitutional. Now, 3-judge bench of Josephine Mungare, Olga Sewe, and John Chigiti yesterday said, actually looking at all the grounds that you've cited here, we find none that holds. It's a major loss for Kenyan workers who will now pay for houses that they may never live in after a controversial levy was yesterday okayed by the High Court. I think, well, I have an issue with how we are angling that story. We are paying for houses that you may never live in. We pay for roads that we may never drive on. Right?
Not only that, there are very many things we pay for.
That you may never use.
Yes, you may never. But you see, that's the whole point. It's the collective effort that should benefit everyone.
Yes.
I don't have to drive on a road in some part of the country that I will never visit. That's not the point.
Yes.
Those people also contributed to a road that I drive on that they may never visit.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, a 3-judge bench comprising Justices Olga Sewe, John Chigiti, and Josephine Mungare paved the way for President Ruto's administration to continue the affordable housing program after finding the 1.5% affordable housing levy imposed on workers does not amount to double taxation. Whilst dismissing the 6 petitions filed by various parties, including Busia's Okoh Mtata, the judges found that the Affordable Housing Act 2024 was properly enacted and in accordance with the Constitution. It's our finding that the levy is properly in place and in accordance with the Constitution. The judges emphasized that the National Assembly has the authority to determine how taxes are calculated, imposed, or collected under Article 95 of the Constitution. The judges found that adequate public participation was conducted and due process was followed. Remember, for this one, there was an issue about public participation when they were discussing this Housing Levy Act. Okay? What they did is initially they had published, just like Parliament normally does, they publish like a half-page thing on a newspaper saying, bring your memoranda.
Yes.
Someone went to court and said, this public participation is not, no. So Parliament had to actually now conduct sittings across various parts of the country. I think they divided it into regions instead of counties, right? They went into various parts and said, we are having sitting in Kisii for this affordable housing. Come and give us your views. They took in the views. I'm not sure they listened to the views, but they took in the views and they passed the law. Now, the judges have found that was adequate public participation. They also dismissed the petitioner's allegation that marginalized communities and people from the Kibera, Mathare, and Korogosho slums were not accorded an opportunity to tender their views during the enactment of the statute. The judges said it's clear that the National Assembly and the Senate focused on stakeholders for the public participation. It cannot be denied that the public participation took place. On claims of discrimination, the court ruled that the levy does not unfairly burden Kenyans as alleged. Justice Mungare said the petitioner's argument claiming the levy imposed on Kenyans was discriminatory was unsubstantiated. She noted that the petitioners did not provide a clear structure for how collections from the informal sector were conducted, which hindered the ability to effectively challenge the case. Justice Chigiti said the purpose of the Act is to provide a legal framework for affordable housing program, saying the Act aims to promote and uphold the constitutional duty of the state to provide housing. He noted Section 3 and 4 of the Act do not infringe on the Constitution, which guarantees the right to housing. This is according to Article 43(1) of the Constitution. The judge also found that sections of the Housing Levy Act do not offend the principles of devolution. You know, they had said, this is a devolved function housing. The judges basically said, all these things that you've brought here. But they imagine us, we don't see a case. Imagine we're not seeing what the problem is.
Well,
imagine people should just pay this housing levy.
Well, the thing is, the court has pronounced itself, has it not? If you disagree,
go to the Court of Appeal.
Precisely.
Yep, it's likely to end up in the Court of Appeal. Yeah. One more story.
One more story. Let me have a look. I am.
You're doing the look.
No, I'm looking. I have a story. And the story is actually still in the Star. Okay.
As you look for that, let me tell you this one is it's a story of anguish. Victims of cybercrime share their experiences of mental anguish. On the evening of February 10th, 2020, Jane stumbled upon social media posts that would haunt her for a long time. On her WhatsApp status were private photos of her with her estranged boyfriend, posted for everyone to see. What was reserved for the couple's eyes. The exposure, she says, left a permanent scar that made her vulnerable and withdrawn. When it happened, it left me in shock The realization that most of the private moments that I shared with him in confidence were now public was the worst humiliation. The betrayal cut deep not only because of the breach of my privacy, but also the indignity of the exposure. The university graduate had to endure the cruel public condemnation. Jane, we can't reveal her true name for the sake of our privacy, is one of the increasing number of cybercrime victims. In today's world, a malicious person's click on a computer or mobile phone can turn one's life into a living nightmare. So this is the story of Jane. And there are many. Marianne, who's another victim, says she suffered cyber attacks twice from someone she knows. I had a guy who's an IT expert. He hacked my phone and frustrated me until I had to crash my phone because I couldn't take it anymore. It's something that had never happened to me before. Public figures have also become victims of these scammers. I have on several occasions fallen into the trap of cyber attacks. There are instances where people in my constituency have conned others using my name and account. This is Lurambi MP Titus Hamala. Besides the Cyber Crimes Act of Kenya enacted in 2018, the lawmakers now plan to introduce a bill in Parliament to protect Kenyans from online attacks. These things happen, leaked photos, leaked videos, and then it's shared and you never think about the person.
The damage that it does
to that individual.
Yep.
And for many times, many of these cases, it's young men and women.
Eric, but think for a moment about the escalation of just the insensitivity that seems to be the hallmark of the way we go about our business. We look at the insensitivity of the decisions that are made with regards to the citizens of this country. We look at the issues around our schools, how it is that we keep hearing of parents being asked to pay more and more and more money. We look at the state of our healthcare, which seems to have gone silent, but we're not being told what has worked and what has been rectified and what is that. The very thing that we seemed to have tried and spoken of moving away from is a place where we seem to be stuck.
You imagine.
And we're seeing more and more of it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Just stuck in those. It's really, sometimes you really feel sad for when you look at when you imagine the kind of anguish that that person is going through. Especially when they're just young, they're in their teens, early 20s, they're just starting life, and they know that this thing will forever be online. It's really devastating. Keep it here for more conversations. Coming up in the next hour, we talk about other things. We're not talking about Gachagua today, okay? We're talking about other things. We're talking about digital transformation and how it's working in this country. And we'll hear from the Director of ICT in the Ministry of ICT. It's 7 a.m.
Spice up your life.
Amla Ubaga, candidates sitting for this year's Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education will be issued with a new Maisha card before the end of the assessment. Immigration and Citizen Services PS Morning, this is the News Wire. I'm Leah Ubaga.
Thank you very much, Eric, and it's good to be at the Situation Room.
Always a pleasure coming here. This is the most challenging interview panel in Kenya. You guys are very well informed, and as you can see, Charles today very philosophical.
To be poor in this country is the greatest sin you can commit, not just from a legal perspective, but from life generally. Yeah. It is very, very skewed.
We've just heard on the floor of Parliament, just most recently, a leader within the ODM saying that Sisi ni ng'ombe is a baba.
Yeah.
Which means that you are willing to be milked dry.
You cannot force me to believe. I'll give way
If it's land that I'm told to return to you, I will, okay? Because the court has said so. But I'll continue saying, watu wamenirusha. That's all that I'm doing.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
You tune into Kenya's biggest conversation. My name is Ramanya.
Amen. Amen.
So 1 hour is over?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It gets over
Can you imagine
in 20 minutes.
what the big boys have also done?
I'm very proud of myself.
When you understand about partnership in politics, it's like the way marriage is these days. When you're looking for a wife, you're like, maybe you can help me pay for fees as I pay for the rent.
Why should you have a lioness living in your bedroom?
I have to tell you a story. I went for a prayer meeting, which was called for the spouses of candidates for senators and governors. And when I got to the gate, the lady who was the secretary, she refused to. She's telling me, no. Leo tunataka wa mama. Leo ni wa mama. I'm telling her, no. She said, no, sio siku yenu. And I thought, there's a problem here, because if it was a man, but this was a lady.
It will be called First Ladies until you change the name.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
SpiceFM, Nakuru.
Let me tell you, my friend, the traffic is not looking bad at all. In fact, coming from Kiambu Road towards town is not bad at all. It's just in Muthaiga. Thika Superhighway, where far does it stretch? KSMS, that's not bad. This thing, at around such a time in the morning, it stretches beyond Outer Ring Road Junction. So that one, fine. Juja Road coming towards town is okay. Jogoo Road heading towards City Stadium, it's fine. Landis Road into town, it's fine. Langata Road, you'll only find a bit of traffic at the T-Mall Junction. Why is there traffic at the T-Mall Junction? I never get it. I mean, what causes traffic at the T-Mall Junction? People who are coming towards Mombasa Road, they use the overpass. People who are going down are the ones who just want to turn left to Raila Odinga Way, or those who want to turn right towards T-Mall, and there's a roundabout. Why should there be traffic? And yet there's not. Anyway, you'll let us know why there's traffic there. And then Ngong Road into town, okay. Mombasa Road into town, okay. You'll find a bit of a traffic starting to build up now on North Airport Road at City Cabanas because of the Kenha thingy called the roundabout thingy or U-turn thingy that takes you into Mombasa Road. That's where you'll find traffic. But then most of the other roads, you're fine.
If a lion shows you its teeth, it doesn't mean it likes you.
It doesn't mean it likes you. It won't start. A liar calls as witness one who is either dead or far away. Say it in Kiswahili.
Ben low, nin inte, nin there, ayu markati kadikta. You know this character called liar. He has disturbed people. So when you tell him who are your witnesses, he will take you to a place where it is difficult to verify.
For someone like me who sweats a lot, I cannot survive there. Sweating is biblical. Good. And he must blame it on Adam, not me. Because Adam messed up and he was told, now you fellow you, by the sweat of your brow, thou shalt eat.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation.
Okay, it is 6 minutes after 7. Welcome to the second hour of Kenya's biggest conversation. This is the Situation Room. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are glad that you're joining us this Wednesday morning. Things are many, and we shall discuss them as many as they are, right? Siti, please tell everybody why it's important to go for regular medical checkups, courtesy of the Aga Khan University Hospital.
Well, talking of this wonderful country of Kenya, one of the things that we all experience at one time or the other is a get-together that is intended to raise funds for someone who is unwell in hospital.
Yes.
Before you get hospitalized, you actually have to fall sick.
Yes.
And before you fall sick, whatever it is that's making you unwell already is resident in your body.
Yes.
Now, so that you get to know it and understand it, and to avoid hospitalization, you need to go for a checkup. Yes, the medical checkup will tell you exactly what your body is saying. It will indicate to you even what your body is whispering. And once you know this, you will take the appropriate action, and that appropriate action will guarantee that you are not hospitalized. Yes, now, we are saying that this is very possible if you know and understand that the Aga Khan University Hospital offers these services, apart from the main hospitals, in 53 outlets across the country. Yes, all you need to do is go, ask for a medical checkup, and they'll provide it for you.
Very good.
Yes.
Very, very good.
Yes.
It's always important to actually take these things to heart and not just for granted. You have an opportunity, just go and do it. 9,950 to any Aga Khan specialty clinic, and they will do that full comprehensive medical checkup.
And just because you're feeling well doesn't mean you're well.
Oh, no.
No, it just means you're feeling well. Yes.
That's the now.
Yes.
That's what you're feeling now.
Now, yes.
You don't know what's brewing.
Yes, you have no
inside.
idea.
You have absolutely no idea. So it's always important to do that. Then there's a banner behind you. It's for Tala, and we've been talking about Tala. And we've been saying, so people know Tala, okay? Because they've been in the country for 10 years. People know Tala.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. They know it's a mobile lending app. They know that it's not just a mobile lending in terms of, you take money. They know it's actually a companion who comes in to your need whenever you are completely at that point of need. They also know that Tala, well, they may not know. They may not know that Tala has lent over 500 billion shillings in Kenya alone over the last 10 years. They know that Tala is registered and regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya. They also know that Tala is licensed by the Office of the Data Commissioner.
Yes.
Okay? Why is it important?
Well, it's important because we have a market that is full of very many rogue institutions claiming to be fintechs. They claim to lend you money. One of the things that they guarantee you is a great deal of embarrassment if you so much as attempt to default on any payment.
Yes.
Anyone, because part of the registration involves you are giving them liberty to understand everything that is in your contact list. And once they have it, they will send notices to every person on that list telling them what a useless person you are and how it is you don't pay debts. Now, these rogue elements are predominantly not licensed by or monitored or by the Central Bank of Kenya. Neither do they have any relationship with the Data Commission of Kenya. Essentially, the message we are trying to communicate is you want to deal with an entity that is safe. And when you hear of regulation by government or by government agencies, that's the umbrella that you receive. You are guaranteed safety.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's important that you actually understand this. Not all of these lenders are actually under the ambit of the Central Bank of Kenya. Check that they are before you start engaging with them. In fact, don't even check. Just deal with Tala, okay? Download Tala from Google Play today, and you will be okay. When you need money, go to Tala, borrow money, pay, grow your limits. As you keep increasing your limits, you access more. Now, we are going to talk about catalyzing Africa's digital future. And with us in the studio is Serikali, the Director of ICT in the State Department for ICT and Digital Economy. John Kiria is our guest. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Latiff.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Karibu sana to Kenya's biggest conversation.
Thank you so much. It's a good morning to be here.
Yes. He's here alongside Damien O'Sullivan, who is a Chief Executive at ECDL ICDL Foundation. Damien, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome to the hot seat of the Situation Room.
Thank you.
You will tell us about the foundation. We asked ourselves, so what does ICDL Foundation do? And we'll talk about it shortly. We'll also now talk about catalyzing Africa's digital future and what then happens. But before we do all those things, Citi is going to welcome you with the day's proverb. So your job is to listen to the proverb and give us your interpretation of it. Every week he goes to an African country. He gets us proverbs from that country. The last 3 weeks, this being the third, he is in the Maghreb. Do you know where the Maghreb is?
Sure.
Where?
In the north of Africa.
Very good. What's the northernmost part of Africa? What's the northernmost country in Africa?
Algeria or Morocco? Or
You've done very well. You've mentioned two that are close to it, but the one that is northernmost is actually Tunisia.
Okay.
Yes.
The proverbs are from Tunisia.
Our proverbs are from not Tunisia, the Republic.
The Republic of Tunisia.
Remember when Algeria last week, and we said it's not just Algeria,
it's the
People's Democratic Republic of Algeria. You have to be careful about these terminologies. Yes. Tunisia shares a maritime border with Italy through the islands of Sicily, Sardinia, and Malta. Story for another day.
Okay.
The proverb. He sells the monkey and makes fun of the one who buys it.
He sells the monkey and makes fun of the one who buys it. And yet he's the one who sold the monkey. This is... he sells the monkey and makes fun of the one who buys it. Okay. So let's start with you, John. What's your interpretation of this one?
Maybe I'll borrow the adage of monkeying it up.
Yes.
And basically, is where, maybe from my perspective, where I come from, you come up with a policy that, backfires on your face, simply put. Yet you are the one who set up the policy or the law. And it comes back to haunt you, There's something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's an interesting perspective.
That's an interesting one.
Yes.
That's an interesting... Damien, what's yours?
Well, I think it links very well with what you were talking about before about Tala, that there are a lot of offers in the market and really buyer beware. You cannot trust the monkey seller.
It's buyer beware. You can't just trust anyone.
I like that phrase. You don't trust the monkey seller. Why is he selling his monkey? Yes.
And all these things that he's talking about with the monkey.
Yes. Why?
How does he know them? What does he know about them? So let's start with what we know. The Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy. We know there's a State Department for ICT and Digital Economy. We have hosted the CSs. We have hosted the PS and that. Now we are hosting the Director of ICT. We have also hosted others from this State Department. So we know. Now let's talk about the ICDL Foundation. What is it, Damien?
So ICDL is the International Certification of Digital Literacy. So we focus on developing the digital skills of citizens, of workers. So we work all over the world in partnership with government, with employers, with educators to ensure that our current and future workforce have a sufficient level of digital competence to perform effectively. And so partnering with the government is about ensuring that when we think about digital economy, that we're investing in people as much as we're investing in fiber and systems and devices.
What is digital literacy? I mean, if I were to ask someone who's never even come across the word digital, how would you explain to them what digital literacy is, and how would it apply to them in their everyday life?
Well, it's about the effective use of digital devices. We've seen how the smartphone has become such a fundamental part of our lives, and if I can link it again back to what you were talking about earlier, if you think about your medical health or your financial health, your digital health is important. Your ability to use digital devices effectively, and as technology is now embedding itself in the medical world, in the financial world. If you are to be an effective citizen in this world, to understand your medical health, your financial health, your engagement with government, you have to be able to use digital technology effectively. And when you think about your workplace, more and more our workplaces are becoming dominated by digital technology. And so your effectiveness as a teacher, a lawyer, an accountant, a public administrator is determined by your ability to use digital technology effectively. And, as more and more technology comes on stream, and we're thinking of AI and how that will influence us, the people who will adapt to that changing world are those who will have that fundamental digital competence. So they're not afraid of new technology. They can be in control of it, but use it effectively to maximise their own effectiveness at work and in their own lives.
It sounds like you people in the ICT field have decided, right, we want to... There's the same way we have, literacy, somebody who can read, and then numeracy, somebody who can actually just do just the basics of numbers, and then now you say, okay, so we want to add into something else, the understanding of technology, and you call it digital literacy. But it sounds like it should be, in the modern day age, that's like a normal thing. It's like saying you can read a language. Of course you can read a language. You're speaking one language or another.
Yeah, I think it
should not be like it's automatic. Why do you have to talk about digital literacy?
Yeah, it is a fundamental skill, and as critical as literacy and numeracy. But it hasn't been embedded within our education system in the same way. We don't assume that young people will develop literacy and numeracy without teachers, and it is the same with digital. We can give young people a smartphone, but it doesn't mean that they will be effective users of digital technology, and particularly not in the workplace. We can see how they develop very strong YouTube skills or TikTok skills. But when they go into the world of work, employers are frustrated that young people are not coming with strong digital skills. So we can have graduates with a degree in finance, but if they're not very strong users of digital technology, then as a finance professional in this modern world, their academic knowledge is not sufficient anymore. You have to be able to use systems, understand technology, work with providers to adapt to new systems and approaches.
The manner in which you have phrased and framed the discussion seems to inform us that we are in a time when it's incumbent upon you to actually have certain skills. That if you hope to live, work, survive in these times, it is in your interest to actually acquire certain skills. And given that this particular century is referred to as the age, we are in not the digital age, we're in the communication age. So that is at the heart of everything that we do. What if I have no wish to join the communication age, and what if I have no wish to be digitalized? What will happen to me?
Well, I think you will end up living in a world of darkness. We can't resist the advent of technology and the role of technology. So it would be like living in the darkness and resisting electricity or even in candlelight. Like, this technology is now fundamental. And we were talking outside how the experience of the COVID pandemic has accelerated the adoption of digital technology. And we saw how digital technology enables people to continue to work, continue to learn, but from home. And it has kind of transformed our understanding of what it means to be a participant in a digital economy. So I would be concerned that people who are resistant are not getting sufficient support. I think everybody can be empowered with technology, but some people will need particular support. And when we think about our societies and how our citizenship of the country will depend on digital technology, then we have to bring everybody with us. We have to ensure that those in remote places have access to technology, that those who are less educated are being supported to develop their own competence in the use of technology. It can't be just for an elite or for the most educated. It has to be for everybody.
You see, my point revolves around one thing. You see, resistance is a factor of knowledge or the lack of it. And if one doesn't understand what it is that you are trying to get them involved in, then the natural reaction will be to resist it. It may be passive, it may be aggressive, but they will resist it. So the question here, and John, this is to you. When we talk about digital literacy and how it is we want to ensure that it's all inclusive, how do we go about this?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Because in fact, where we are at now, we are moving from just the component of digital literacy now to digital skilling. Because you are very right when you raise the issue of literacy. Because, of course, one of our pre-independence or independence focus was to defeat illiteracy. So when you actually use the word literacy, now people wonder, I thought Kenya is even above 80% literate. So we are actually now migrating from the aspect of just talking of being digital literate to actually now digital skilling, because definitely each of us at different levels, we have some digital skill. Whether you are using your smartphone, you are reading your emails, you are on WhatsApp, everybody now knows how to use one app or the other. Whether it's even M-Pesa, just M-Pesa, that's a digital skill. So it is just the level now of skilling and actually how you can convert that skill to add value to your life in terms of now economic benefit, in terms of how you change your life. And definitely, human beings are wired to adopt something when it has a positive impact on their lives. So you don't need to force them. You only need now to show the benefit and the impact that they will get from having a given skill, for example. So if a given skill is able to give me a job, and out here there are no employers advertising, but if I have that skill, I will be able to feed myself, feed my family, pay my bills. Then you don't need to force me to actually adopt or look even to have that skill. And that's the reality we want to shape. That's the mentality we want to shape. That's the understanding we want to shape. And we appreciate COVID. The positive impact of COVID, one of it is it short-circuited the adoption of technology in our daily routine. We can now order our meals from the house. Jumia is all over. You have seen young fellows on bikes. You just order, they deliver. Before that, tell anybody, order your meal, it comes, and they will tell you are crazy. I don't trust that meal. Where is that fellow passing through? Am I sure I will not, I can't trust that meal. But now we trust. We trust what that guy delivers. We don't even care where he comes from. I order my pizza, I wait for it, in 20 minutes it comes. No, I don't start asking that fellow questions. Which route did you use? I take it up and go to my table to dine, So that is the change that actually we want to trigger, the focus, the benefits. So once you show people the benefits, they are able to appreciate. You will actually not force anybody. Because today, you don't force anybody to order a pizza. They gladly do it. You don't force anybody to, they need some mshwari or, Tala here. They don't start asking, do I trust Tala with, my pertinent information? They don't think twice.
They sign up.
They sign up and, request Tala for something and Tala delivers. So you don't need to change them to have that mindset. You only need to show them the benefits that they derive from having that skill.
So it's happening organically. right? Because it's necessity becoming the mother of invention and all, right? So because of things that are happening, you just find yourself. You'll go onto social media and you'll find all those clips of young people talking about how they're teaching their parents how to use their new smartphone, how they're teaching their grandparents how to use the smartphones. You know, the grandparent at some point is wondering, so you told me to pay for Wi-Fi in the house, so I've paid for this thing. Why am I not accessing internet when I'm outside the house? It's Wi-Fi, it's in the house. So it's happening gradually and organically, right? So when you now say skilling, as a directorate for ICT, and now your focus is on skilling, how are you doing it?
Yes, we have various programs. For example, one of our core programs is through our one of our institutions, the ICT Authority. We have come up with a very innovative program, and basically it's not just an innovative program, but it's a huge undertaking. Because when you talk of skilling 20 million Kenyans on basic ICT skills, and we are relatively 40 to 50 million now, we are talking of relatively 50% of the country.
Yeah.
So it's not a small undertaking, but we have taken up that challenge to ensure that each of these 20 million Kenyans have basic digital skills. And these basic digital skills means that you are able to, for example, monetize. If you are a creative, if you can, using now the power of imagination, what can you bring to the table? When you are empowered in these basic digital skills. Government is having, a drive to even digitize all its services.
Yeah.
So, for example, how many of these people, of the population is able to go to these online services and use them? A person in Turkana, can they apply for a birth certificate? Can they register a company? Can they apply for passport? Without consulting anyone. 2 a.m. when they're in their house, at midnight. So those are the basic skills we are talking about.
So how are you doing it?
So
give me that example of somebody in.
So one is through partnerships. For example, with like ICDL who are here today, we are actually engaging and partnering with the private sector. It's not us doing. Because we can't do it by ourselves. So we are partnering with the professionals in the field. We are partnering with the training institutions out there. And these institutions, we have even been able to map them out, even into regions, where they are effective, where they know the people on the ground, where they can reach the people. So if we map you, for example, to offer the digital skilling in Turkana County, these are your people. You know how to engage them. You have been with them. You can reach them. You can actually even speak their language and be able to bring them to the level of skilling we are talking about, even with their mother tongue.
Okay.
Yes.
Just that I've actually seen one. There's a foundation in Kimana Loitoktok called the Nice Foundation. It's by a young lady called Nice Langete.
Yes.
And, she brings in young girls, especially those who are being rescued from FGM. In some cases, young boys as well who are maybe being rescued from violence at home. And they come in there and they have a classroom in that foundation. They have a classroom where they call it digital skilling. And I think they told me that they're working with the ICT ministry. Yes. So those are the kind of things.
Those are the kind of things.
So that classroom with the computers there and these young kids, and also actually not just the children, but also people from the neighborhood are coming there into the Nice Foundation and they're getting the training. That is the skilling we're talking about.
That's the skilling we are talking about.
Okay.
On the other part, we are also coming up with the digital hubs in every ward. So from the ward level. Because, we cannot talk of reaching people when we are not reachable. So we also have to go down to that level where they can reach us. They don't need to look for us. So we are setting up digital hubs at the ward level. So also from these digital hubs, there will also be training centers. So especially, anybody going to that hub, we'll find a trainer there. Of course, in partnership with our various partners, we'll be able to offer training at those hubs And these hubs are basically looking at how to convert these skills and monetize them. Bring your ideas, work from there. In fact, it's a working station.
Okay.
You come there, we are also setting a part with the equipment, with everything. So once you are skilled, sit down at whatever, come for your 1 hour, 2 hours, you find a remote job, and you deliver, earn your $100 and go home.
I see.
That is it.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the ICDL Africa and the forum that's happening in coming days. ICDL Africa Annual Forum 2024. The CEO of the ICDL Foundation, Damien O'Sullivan, is our guest, alongside John Carrier, who is the Director of ICT in the State Department for ICT, the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy. Hey, see, you have to say it in full.
You have to say it in full.
Of the Republic of Kenya.
Yes, and that's why we have been added the digital economy component, because we want to change the narrative.
Okay.
Yes.
Keep it here for more. This conversation continues shortly.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Chilled Spice. The weather with SpiceFM.
It's warming up in Nairobi, although it's still cloudy. Expect highs of 26 later in Nairobi. In Mombasa, expect highs of 31. Malindi, expect highs of 30. 26 highs of and a sunny day in Nakuru. 26 highs in Nyeri. Cloudy presently at 16. In Eldoret, it's currently 15 and highs of 23. In Kampala, in Kisumu rather, highs of 30, currently at 20. Kampala, partly sunny at 20. Mogadishu, sunny at 27. Lagos, cloudy at 25. Addis Ababa is sunny at 14. Dar es Salaam is sunny at 24. Johannesburg is sunny at 12. Kinshasa, partly cloudy at 24. Paris, mostly cloudy at 6. London is cloudy at 12. New York is clear skies at 17. And Beijing is warming up to 16. It'll hit highs of 18 and then drop to 5.
Spice and everything nice. All right.
Spice up your life.
So the notorious sections, if you're coming from Utawala, you're using the Eastern Bypass, you will find traffic at that roundabout at the barracks. And then North Airport Road will be moving slowly and effectively. No, we'll actually be moving very fast until you get to the interchange with Outer Ring Road. That's where you'll begin the traffic coming all the way to City Cabanas into the U-turn to get into Mombasa Road. When you get onto the Mombasa Road, you will find traffic from Imara Daima coming to General Motors. Thereafter it clears. You will move very well up to Nyayo Stadium roundabout. You will move into Bunyala roundabout. You'll then find traffic at the Railways Bridge into Haile Selassie. You're on Langata Road, you'll find traffic at the T-Mall Junction. And then once you enter the Mbagathi Way, you'll find traffic up Mbagathi Way. It'll clear for a moment, and then you'll get some bit of traffic at the roundabout with the City Mortuary. You will find some traffic if you're on Langata Road getting onto Mombasa Road. You'll find it as well on Aerodrome Road. Now, how is Jogoo Road looking like? It's actually not so bad. Landis Road is busy as you get to the retail market. Juja Road is clear. You'll only find a bit of traffic as you get into Ring Road, Ngara. Thika Superhighway stretching up to the De La Rue Kenya School of Monetary Studies, coming towards the interchange with Kiambu Road. Thereafter it clears. Wangari Maathai Road is starting to get busy as you approach the Museum Hill interchange. From Westlands coming towards town, it's all right. And Ngong Road into town is also fine.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Future, the ICDL Africa Annual Forum 2024 will be happening soon. We'll be told when and how to participate by Damien O'Sullivan, who's the CEO of ICDL Foundation, and John Carrier, who's the Director of ICT in the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy. So, Damien, ICDL, you have focused, of course, on making sure that there is increased digital literacy. And now, as the Director of ICT, saying digital skilling across the country. So what do you do? How do you do it?
So our role is to provide a common standard. So we work with all of the actors in this space, so that when we think about the digital hubs and all the various training partners, instead of there being multiple interpretations of digital skilling, they're using ICDL as a common standard, as a certification to ensure that the young people achieve an internationally recognized qualification. So ICDL is adopted by universities, by high schools, by corporate training providers, and providing that common language so that a worker can demonstrate to an employer that they have digital skills to a recognized high quality standard.
Sorry, let me just cut you short. Did this transform itself? Because I remember in the early 2000s, when we still were doing computer packages in the 90s and 2000s, there was something called International Computer Driving License.
It's the very one.
Is the one?
It's the very one.
Okay, so what's it called now?
The International Certification of Digital Literacy.
So the digital literacy
is the driving license. Because it used to be the International Computing Driving License.
It's the same.
Okay. Continue. So you now come up with a standard that is acceptable, that is universal, and then also the certification that is recognized not just locally but globally.
If an example would be in Rwanda, we work with the government there. They have adopted ICDL as the standard for all government employees. So they're requiring all of the civil servants to be ICDL certified over the next few years. Any new entrants to the civil service must have ICDL. And most recently decided that all graduates of university in Rwanda must have ICDL. So they're linking digital skilling with all aspects of education, whichever faculty or profession you're aiming for. They see digital skilling as fundamental.
Okay.
So
how do you then work with our local curriculum development? For example, now we have KICD, right? Do you work with KICD to develop this curriculum that then best suits the Kenyan market? Do you engage more with the ministry? So there's a ministry, of course, of ICT, and then there's a ministry of industrialization trade that is also dealing with the marketplace. How do you interlink with all this so that the standard that you're coming up with in the curriculum is acceptable and working for Kenya?
So our standard is widely adopted. It's an international standard, and it can be localized to meet local needs. So we work with all stakeholders, all aspects of government. So we're working with the Ministry of ICT. ICDL has already been approved by the Kenya National Qualifications Body, by the TVET Authority. So it's recognized as an international qualification, but recognized as meeting the needs of the Kenya education market. So the universities, the colleges, the schools that want to use ICDL know that it's already quality approved by the Kenyan authorities, as well as being an internationally recognized qualification.
So you set the exams?
Yeah, we set the exams. We empower each institution to deliver the training, to prepare the students to sit our exams. But we set the exams, and we have online technology that's used to deliver and mark the exams automatically.
And you set your fee?
We set the fee, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Does our government come in to make sure that you're not overcharging us?
Sure, it's all very very transparent. Most of the cost is actually a local cost of delivering the training. The certification fee is the smallest part, but it is regulated and so widely adopted. And because we're not a technology company, we're a non-profit education organisation, then our motivation is to make ICDL available to all partners.
When one has that certification, what does it afford you? And which jurisdictions does it afford you? Like, say, on this continent, say, outside this continent? Where is it recognizable so that when I say this is the certification I have, it immediately affords me, or it opens certain doors?
Yeah, it is essentially a passport. It's a digital passport. It will be recognized all over the world as proving that you have demonstrated your digital competence in an independent way. So if you go to Rwanda, it'll be accepted. You know, at our forum on Friday, we have representatives from 30 African countries coming. It's widely adopted across Europe, internationally, and also in Asia. We've been working with the Singapore government. They've adopted ICDL for many years as a standard of digital literacy. So this program originated in Europe but has become a global standard.
Does it therefore mean that it becomes then a fundamental requirement if somebody is to be considered to have been adequately not just trained but educated? You said university students upon graduation are all ICDL certified. Yeah. So it means that when one is looking at your qualification, say if you apply for a job, it ought to feature as a basic requirement.
This is in Rwanda.
Absolutely, in Rwanda.
Yes, I'm referring to Rwanda.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all of them in Rwanda, as you graduate, you come out with that certificate.
That's their new requirement. So as a graduate entering the employment market, yes, you're highlighting your degree in finance, but you're also highlighting your ICDL certified, so that an employer can have confidence that when you're put at the desk on day one and given a PC, that you're going to be effective, that your knowledge of finance isn't not sufficient. There is this new trend around micro-credentials, that academic qualification needs to be supported by smaller credentials, so proving you are digitally skilled, proving that you have soft skills, that you are a team player, that you can communicate with customers. And that's what's happening in higher education now. Institutions looking at not just the fundamental academic qualification, but what other supports, training, micro-credentials should be provided to young people, because employers are sometimes frustrated that the education system is not producing young people who are work ready. You know, employers are having to invest in training. You know, you would expect when you hire a young person, they're bringing new skills. So that's the requirement now, is that academic knowledge is complemented by industry certifications, by professional exams, maybe if you're in law or accountancy, and by digital skills, which are kind of the unifying skills that all faculties need to offer. So
in Rwanda, would you say that the digital skills are part and parcel of the curriculum that they have in their learning processes?
Yeah, absolutely.
How early do they start this?
Well, it's starting in secondary school level now. The kind of fundamentals of computational thinking you can start in primary school.
Isn't that a bit too late? Secondary school is late, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Should you not introduce this when during the formative years of a child's life? Because we are taught in this country English and math. It's a fundamental. You have to study English and you have to study maths. And then Kiswahili. Other things may come along, but these two are fundamental. Now, if we are in the communication age, should these digital skills then not be introduced at the earliest possible moment? So that by the time, and it becomes an examinable subject, so that by the time someone is going to the next level of their learning, they already have an understanding, instead of being ambushed by this thing when you're in secondary school and you're wondering what on earth they're talking about.
Yeah. Look, I think it's about maximising the resources available. We certainly need to ensure that earlier and earlier we're using technology. So what we learned from COVID is it's not just about preparing young people for the world of work, but using technology in the education system. And certainly with the higher end of primary school, we can expose young people to technology. But the kind of foundational skill that we need, the computational thinking, can be taught without using devices. You know, it is a way of thinking, problem solving, that with 5, 6, 7-year-olds you can do without looking at devices. We don't want to start them too early.
Why?
But
why don't you want to start them too early?
Well, we know that there are negative aspects to how young people use technology.
Yes.
Yeah, and they can be led by the technology. So, you know, with young minds, we want to foster creativity and computational thinking. But I think when we start thinking about the use of technology as a tool, then that can come at the higher end of primary school into secondary school.
I fault that thinking.
I think there's a mix of the two, and maybe John, because I'm sure you've been in this field for a while. When the Jubilee administration was advocating for computers in schools. This was the thinking of the people in ICT. How do we improve our digital literacy? And then let's study at that primarily. So what you do just to start. So in terms of reading, we have books, and they're provided in schools. In terms of math and English and language and reading and writing, we have that. We have blackboards and chalk in school. In terms of digital literacy, that was the push then for the laptops. The free laptops for all primary school children in the country. It was the forward thinking at that point. Of course, now I'll not put you on the spot and ask you, so what happened to that program? But probably that was the thinking, City. That if you do that at that stage, then you're starting them with a device. It has a simple, you'll put some learning material on these things. The children will be able to open, navigate through a tablet, navigate through some devices. They're already starting the digital learning and scaling. And then at some certain level now, maybe as you grow older, then you're getting into the deeper things. It's the things about the technocrats in government who think, and then the other guys who do.
There's an entire division within the education sector called the Institute of Curriculum Development that we have in the country. You see, why I am faulting that thinking is this. Anyone who has understood the development of children will tell you that there's something they call the formative years. And it is argued by those who have come up with the research on this field that during those years, whatever it is that they are taught tends to stick. And it then forms the foundation on which they do whatever it is that they do. Now, if we are in the information age and we are to keep abreast with the rest of the world, does it not then stand to reason that the earlier we start this process, the better? Because other people are starting at a much earlier
stage. In fact, other children in the same republic are starting much earlier.
Yes.
They're engaging with devices much earlier.
Yes.
Right? So they have an upper hand when it comes to later scaling.
Yes.
So it's just basically ensuring that there is universal access to the digital skills across the country, which is why I was saying, City, I think the technocrats in government have thought it through. They've put it down on paper. Then the other guys who come in to get things done.
Yes. You see what Damien has said, which makes a lot of sense, and I like the thinking from that perspective, is you start with the possible harms. It is good thinking. It's good thinking in that you work understanding that these harms are the things you must avoid. So even as you plan and you seek to implement, you have this in mind, Assuming that it's all good would be a fallacy. But the sooner one is equipped, if I take something like a simple sport like football, and I look at some of these thrilling soccer players, it is amazing at what age they actually start playing football. And so by the time before adolescent, they're already really very good. Before adolescence, the motor skills have been fine-tuned. Whatever it is, they think everything that they have to do with it. Now, something that is going to be part and parcel of your life from now ad infinitum, surely, Damien.
I was, a long time ago, I was a primary school teacher and a principal in a primary school. So I have a good understanding of the young mind and their capacity to learn. I think sometimes we see technology as the solution to all of our problems. Technology is a tool. And certainly in a primary school classroom, the most important device is not a device, it's the teacher. And technology will never replace good teachers. We need to empower our teachers with technology so that they can use it to enhance their teaching and to enhance the learning. The point at which we put a device into the hands of the child really depends on their progress in their education. They need to be quite strong in their literacy, in their numeracy, in their maturity, in their communication skills, before we say, here's a device, a very powerful device. A tablet or a PC shouldn't replace a book. You know, we've seen in other countries where they've put tablets into classrooms and replaced books with tablets, and they're now taking them back out again because the engagement with the content is not the same on a device as it is on a book. There is a place for every tool in the classroom. I think when we think about the challenge around the world in our education systems, and in Africa we have such a huge youth population, we shouldn't look at technology as an alternative to having good teachers. It's a set of tools that can enhance our teachers. And it's not a replacement for textbooks. We need to develop our young people, and then still at a relatively young age, at 9, at 10 and beyond, we can say, now we're going to give you a new tool. We know that you can use books. We know that you can use a pen and paper. We know that you can perform mathematical calculations manually. Now we're going to give you a device and education. So, and it is just that. It's a set of devices.
I concede. It's like introducing a calculator. At what stage do you introduce a calculator?
Yes. I concede because my thinking is influenced by the fact that I myself was a secondary school teacher and also a headmaster. Yes. So that
we have so much in common.
Yes, so that is what has influenced my thinking. Yes.
Now you've seen it from the lower.
Yes. I had not given thought to that perspective, and he is right. Yes.
So this Friday, the 25th, right? The ICDL Africa Annual Forum is taking place. So what's that about?
So this is an annual forum. This is the first time we've held it outside of Rwanda. Our Africa headquarters is in Kigali, and every year we have this forum. We're coming to Nairobi. We're bringing together all of our partners and stakeholders from across Africa, representatives of government, of employers, of educators, exchanging best practice on how do we develop our workforce, how do we develop our young people to have a strong level of digital competence. So we'll have examples from countries like Rwanda where they're showing how they're using ICDL to establish this national standard, and we'll have educators saying this is how they're using it in higher education, in secondary education.
How many participants?
I think there's over 200 registered to attend in person. We're honoured to have His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya joining us. We'll have representatives of various ministries, but it is about exchanging best practice, what's working across Africa to develop a digital economy that's based on people.
Okay. John, this will be your opportunity to shine, for the Africans to come and see what Kenya has been doing. When we say that we are ahead of everybody else, there's something we'll be showcasing. What do we expect that your directorate will be showcasing?
Yes, that's a very good question, because as Kenya, we have also advanced, especially post-COVID. We have advanced in leaps and bounds in terms of the digital skilling aspect. So we will be holding some exhibitions during the conference to showcase the local, component, the innovations that we have, the output, the creative nature. So we'll be showcasing this to show what our people can dream about and actually be able to output it once they have the digital skills. So this is a forum where we are able to show the benefits. As it was saying, how do you, make people not to come and resist? So when you come and see, you are converted. You are a converted believer. That we are not just saying these things, but we can show you that once we have taken you through maybe the ICDL training, any other sort of training, what can you achieve? How can it change your life? How can it impact your life? You will see people there who have developed applications. You will see people there who have come up with companies, just from maybe having a skill, and they have converted that skill to a company that is employing people. You will see people who are now engaging the world, just from the comfort of wherever they are located. So the world becomes your marketplace. And looking at where Africa has come from in terms of marketplace, starting with the barter trade, where we bring our animals and other things to barter trade. And now we have a huge global market. E-commerce is now the norm. And, import-export has become that easy. You don't need to take a flight to China. China is here. So there before, people would ask, how much does it cost to travel to China? So you don't need to travel. Just at the click of your button, you can order a whole container and it comes. You wait for it at your doorstep. So that is the reality that we are talking about. That is the truth of it. The products that we have here, we can also now market them out there. You don't just, if you have your mangoes, you don't need to even, how do they arrive in London? London is at the doorstep of your keyboard. You only need to package that mango to place it digitally for the customer to see it, and it can land in any London store. And that is the reality of things. So we want Africans, we want Kenyans, we want the continent to see these things in reality and take advantage of them. Because one thing we have is we have the benefit of our environment, which can trigger, any sort of creative and innovation, because we don't have many things already done. And that's the benefit. These blue chip companies that are now, ranked number one, they are there because the environment allowed them at that time. The social networking sites that are there now, ranked number one globally in terms of revenue, exist because they had the environment to trigger the creative nature, and they could now dream. How do I talk to my friends, for example, Facebook? How do I get connected to my friends and share my photos? When I go on holiday, for example, when I go, visiting, how do I show my friends where I am at? Just thinking, now, it's a blue chip company. That is one of the highest revenue. So the environment we have also, for us, I say it's an opportunity. Because having not many things done gives us an opportunity to dream them.
Right.
And now, once you develop and package, we will be the next blue chip companies.
Where will this forum be taking place?
So the forum is here in Nairobi.
In the Safari Park?
Yeah, Safari Park.
Safari Park. Yeah. Is it open to everyone?
Well, you have to register. You can go to our website and register to attend. But I'd say there's probably very few spaces left.
Very few slots remaining. So if you have to do it, you have to do it now.
Exactly.
Okay. I think it will be a very interesting one to have. And John, make sure that it comes back to Kenya next year, so that we have an opportunity again to showcase to more and more people in the world what opportunities are there in Kenya, and also just to expose all those Kenyan people who are using digital skills and digital marketplaces to the world. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us this morning and for this conversation. I've just remembered, as we were talking about an example of what digital literacy is. Our friend Kwambai, we work with him here, he's our boss. He was telling us how they were taught how to use a computer. And so these computers, these guys from Baringo had computer, then he's seeing the screen, there's a mouse, the thing is on, and then they're told, grab the mouse, okay, so drag the mouse, okay, then they're told, go to the window and double click. Guy stood up, went to the window and that was good. Okay. Thank you very much, Jenny Sullivan and John, for joining us this morning. Kenya's biggest conversation continues. It's 8 a.m. Good morning.
Spice up your life.
Good morning, this is the News Wire. I'm Leah Ubaga. 4 senior officials of the Taita Taveta government arrested by EACC over alleged mismanagement of public funds will today be arraigned before the Mombasa Anti-Corruption Court. EACC spokesperson Eric Ngumbe said that they are accused of embezzling 7 million shillings, systematic abuse of office, as well as deliberate violation of procurement laws. Ngumbe further said that the 3 suspects were arrested in Taita Taveta, while the 4th suspect in Eldoret. The High Court will today rule on whether Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu has passed to constitute a 3-judge bench to hear regarding Gachagwa's impeachment case. Gachagwa's lawyers argued that the bench can only be constituted by the Chief Justice, a position objected to by the respondents' lawyers. All cases involving impeached DP Gachagwa's petitions have been consolidated, with President William Ruto being included as a respondent in the consolidated matter. Gachagua on Tuesday appeared in person for the mentioning of a petition by the Attorney General seeking a 3-judge bench to vacate conservatory orders issued by Justices Chacha Mwita and Richard Mwongo, stopping the assumption of office by Kithure Kindiki as Deputy President.
Look beyond Rigathi Gachagua. Look also.
And Kenya has officially launched the International Lead Poisoning Prevention Week of Action, which will run up to Friday. Public Health PS Mary Mudhoni said the campaign aims to raise awareness about the dangers of lead exposure, particularly focusing on vulnerable groups like children and pregnant women. She added that under the theme "A Bright Future Begins with a Lead-Free Kenya," the initiative highlights the severe health impacts of lead poisoning, including irreversible damage such as learning disabilities and developmental challenges. And finally, candidates sitting for this year's Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education will be issued with a new Maisha card before the end of the assessment. Immigration and Citizen Services Principal Secretary Julius Bitok, while appearing before the National Assembly's Education, Research and Technology Committee, highlighted that the issuance of ID cards to those who have attained 18 years and above among the 965,000 candidates is intended to ease access to university education and other tertiary institutions. He added that the joint exercise led by the Ministries of Interior and Education will ensure students who join universities and colleges are not disadvantaged by missing identification documents. He further said that the new Maisha card will assist in dealing with cases of crime. And finally, in the international scene, Germany has detected its first case of the new Mpox variant. The Robert Koch Institute for Public Health also said that it viewed the risk to the wider population as low. The patient is a 33-year-old man who was isolated after being admitted to hospital for treatment on October 12th. The case was detected in Cologne, the ministry said in a statement. That's the news wire. I'm Leah Ubaga.
One of the things that are ailing our country is negative ethnicity. You find you as a state officer, instead of thinking as a Kenyan, you think like a tribal person.
Let me tell you something. The biggest problem we have had in this country is a leadership deficit. There is nothing that you are going to do in the process of change if you are not a risk taker. So you really have to pursue your vision to a logical conclusion and even be ready to step on people's toes.
When it comes to the economy, you can run away with it. They say statistics are like bikinis. They reveal a lot, but they conceal the vitals. And so government people would throw statistics at you and tell you they're revealing a lot of information to you, but it's really concealing the real vitals.
We need to get out of that, because when we want to grow our democracy, one basic thing that really requires to be understood by the political class, by all of us, is institutions are critical.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. 102.5 Spice FM, Kisumu.
Okay, so Westlands heading towards town, you'll find traffic around the Mogoga Estate, and then thereafter you come all the way with it up to the mall, and Parklands Road is busy. Wangari Maathai Road is busy as you approach the junction with Kipande Road, and then as you go into the Museum Hill interchange. Murang'a Road is also busy as you approach the big Globe Cinema roundabout. Thika Superhighway, it's busy as usual. Kiambu Road is not looking so bad. Juja Road is not so bad. Jogoo Road is all right. Landis Road is where you'll find some traffic. You'll find traffic as you approach Nyayo Stadium roundabout from the ICC Church, heading into Nyayo Stadium, heading into Bunyala, heading into the Railways Bridge. Langata Road is busy. It starts from Carnival Stage, coming all the way to T-Mall Junction. Mbagathi Way is busy all the way from T-Mall Junction to the City Moche roundabout. That's quite busy this morning. Ngong Road is busy as you approach the lights. Obviously, as you come from Ngong Road and then you're meeting with the Naivasha Road at the Junction Mall, you will find some traffic. How's it looking like on Mombasa Road? Before you get to City Cabanas, it's all flowing. And the North Airport Road, it was busy, but it's now okay. Eastern Bypass coming to the roundabout with the Jeshi, and then you join North Airport Road, that's where it's busy. Outer Ring Road is not so bad, but then Manyanja Road. Yeah.
This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation.
Jijenge na Tala. Now, this is the story of Tala. 10 years in this market. They have spearheaded and have gotten support of other like-minded digital lenders and the government. They spearheaded until those digital lender regulations were in place. Now they're all under the umbrella of the Central Bank of Kenya. However, like buyer beware, not all of these two digital lenders are regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya. Some of them have not actually been regulated. Tala was among the first ones to be. Tala is also registered with the Data Commissioner. Okay? Now, why is Tala important? Tala is important because it comes to you when you need it. Yeah, you're running a business and you need money to restock. You go to Tala, you get some money, you pay within a short time, and you benefit, all right? You keep borrowing, you increase your credit rating, you're positive. This is where now your positive credit score works for you, all right? You know, because there are many other areas where you have really a positive credit score, but it doesn't work for you. You just get one negative credit score like this, and the bank tells you, my friend, you 25% interest because you're risky.
Hatari.
Your risk profile is very high. How about when my risk profile is low? Do I benefit? The banks will hardly ever tell you. But you see, people like Tala, because you're borrowing and you're repaying on time. You're borrowing, you're repaying on time. How your positive profile works is you're increasing the amount of money that you are then able to access. Okay? You can start with 5,000, going to 10,000. Because of your borrowing and repayment schedule, you work with that. The beautiful thing about Tala, unlike many other of these lenders, is you choose when you want to repay. So say you borrow 50,000 shillings because you needed something right now, and you wanted to buy stock because you wanted to replenish because somebody has told you, can you deliver? And you had you wanted to take. You take, and then you decide, I am going to repay this within 72 hours. You're the one who chooses. When do you want to repay? I want to repay within 72 hours. You repay within those 72 hours, your credit score goes. So next, you can get some more money. Like that. That's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of it. How do you get Tala? Please just download it on Google Play and you will be set. Our next conversation, this being Wednesday, we decided that for the next couple of Wednesdays, we are going to address this issue of the digital taxis, just to get to understand what the issues are. We reached out and Bolt was saying that we are willing to come and tell our story. And also we are willing to listen to what the issues are, so we can all resolve this. And today we have invited the Digital Taxi Association of Kenya Chairman David Muteru, who's our guest. David, good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Thank you.
Karibu sana to Kenya's biggest conversation. That's the hot seat of the Situation Room. How does it feel?
Asante. Well, doesn't feel hot.
We keep telling people this. We tell them all the time.
But I think it's the air conditioner. It's not that it's not hot.
We've cooled it very well.
Thank you.
To make it comfortable for you.
Asante.
Karibu sana. In the hot seat of the Situation Room, we have a lot of information. Like you just heard, we talked about Tala. We're also going to tell you about the importance, like you and your members, the importance of going for regular medical checkups. You know, David, that men hardly go to hospital. Men are taken to hospital. Men don't go to hospital, right? But now we need to change that. We need to get to a point where men actually take themselves to hospital, and not because they are sick, but because they want to find out how their bodies are functioning. All right?
Yeah.
Early medical checkup. The Aga Khan University Hospital has very many outlets. I'm sure you've seen specialty clinic Aga Khan here, Aga Khan there, many places, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you guess how many there are of those clinics?
Well, if you may allow me to tell you a story. The last time I was sick, my wife had to threaten me that she is going outside and scream that I've refused to go to the hospital.
You married a good woman.
Yeah. And I literally had to wake up and go to the hospital. And from that time, I've been very healthy because it was the sugar level that was that was up.
And what were you saying? Niko sawa.
No, mi niko sawa. I'm okay. You just take some concussions, herbal concussions, and say that you are okay. Finally, I had to go to hospital, and it was good. Thank you to Pauline. She did a good thing.
Pauline, blessed are you, really.
Among women.
She is a good woman. So, City.
Yes.
53 Aga Khan University clinics, right?
Specialty
clinics. You know the main one. There's the main one in Nairobi in Parklands. There's also the main hospital as well. Big hospital in Mombasa.
Kisumu.
Been there for years in Kisumu. But 53 clinics. And you can go to any of them and say, I've come for a medical checkup. For only 9,950. They do a comprehensive medical checkup. Why is it important, City?
Well, the thing is this. Those who invented and brought about the language you refer to as the English language told you that a stitch in time saves 9.
Yes.
When you understand what it is that your body is at, you are then in a position to take the necessary steps. People are not hospitalized because they are well. They're hospitalized because they're unwell. And even when you feel well, it doesn't mean you're well. There could be something ticking and brewing underneath your skin and you don't know about it. What a medical checkup does for you, it gives you comprehensive knowledge of what it is that your body is at, what it is that's happening, how you're feeling, how your organs are. Once you understand this, you can then take the actions that are required and you will not need to be hospitalized.
Yeah.
My comment on this would be, Eric, that this subject, you give us a bit of time to talk about it because in my community, we are always behind the wheel. We never walk. We never do anything. And I can confirm to you that we have lost about 7 drivers to not exercising. The last guy who passed on, he passed on at Total Haringam. He just sat in the car and never woke up. And we went and buried him.
Wow.
So what we are doing is that we are just engaging, even with the application companies, to have a lot of civic education and even to have health and wellness centers. And I have that document here. And thank you, even if sometimes we don't see anything good with the apps. Bolt is sponsoring us with this kind of thing. Health and wellness centers. You can ask yourself, where do drivers go for their health activities?
Yeah.
In places like Lydiah, there is not a single public
public toilets.
No public toilet. So I wrote a proposal to Bolt and through a program called the Boat Accelerator Program Kenya, I was able to win. So very soon you'll start seeing public toilets in locations where drivers can go relieve themselves. And in those locations, what we try to do is that we are going to engage with the community health service volunteers that will be coming and taking.
Just check your vitals.
Checking things, not something so hard, but pressure, blood sugar, walking, everything, through a partnership with the Digital Association of Kenya and Bolt. And obviously assisted by the county government of Nairobi.
That's beautiful. In fact, you've brought up, like you said, this needs a full hour just talking about it.
Yes.
Because there are things that, we take for granted.
Yeah.
Like access to public toilets.
That's true.
And also just thinking, how many hours in a day are you seated driving around?
Yes.
How many hours in that day have you walked around? Have you exercised? Have you stretched? How are you checking your sugar levels? That's a big thing. City, give us the day's proverb for that.
Yes, our proverbs for this week are from the Republic of Tunisia. He sells the monkey and makes fun of the one who buys it.
He sells the monkey and makes fun of the one who buys it. What do you think this proverb is saying, David?
This proverb, the monkey seller is actually a snake oil salesman. He does not even believe in his solutions. That is why he would laugh, because you are buying his solution, but he himself, the seller, does not believe that the solution will work.
He knows that it doesn't work.
Yeah, he knows the solution will not work.
It's not a solution.
But for you who is buying it, you have got faith in the person who is selling. And
so what do you think? What do you think this proverb is telling us?
This proverb is telling us that people will come with a lot of ideas. Please take your time. Check on these ideas if they can work. Don't be a laughing stock. Yes.
Good. Good. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Now, the Digital Taxi Association of Kenya is one of many associations. Give us the background of this Digital Taxi Association of Kenya. How many members? How did you establish it? And how does it operate?
Okay, if I may give a breakdown, that is that the Digital Association of Kenya was registered on October 2016 after the entry of other application companies. In Kenya, there was only one application company. I don't know whether I'm allowed to name names. It was only one application company. What happened is, during the entry of other application companies started spawning competition. And the competition was based on price warfare. Nothing else. It was just by pricing. So before we were working with one application company, now others have started coming up. We got to know that we needed a voice for the drivers. So we registered the association in October 2016.
Why did you need to register one?
Because we had to have a kind of a bulwark against exploitation and misuse by application companies. Remember, application companies came to Kenya and they were very, very, very good. They came like ameliorators, people who are coming to empower the driver community. Later on, we saw that these guys were not here to empower us. They were here to take away from us. They were actually selling snake oil to us.
How?
Yes, because you have got to go to Mombasa, buy a vehicle worth $1 million shillings. You bring it here, then someone starts setting the price for you. And that person did not contribute anything to buying the vehicle, maintenance costs, and anything. And then you bring them the vehicle.
And they're the ones who decide.
And they are the ones who are deciding on fares and everything, where to pick, where to go. Don't you think that there was a disconnect there?
No, I don't think so.
There was a disconnect.
I don't think so.
Why don't you think so, City?
I don't think so, because the way David has presented it, it's as though these people, you buy your vehicle, and then these people are forcing you to do these things. You see, the nature of most business ventures or any business relationship is more or less volunteerism. You volunteer.
Willing
yes, willing buyer, willing seller. This person has a business, so do you. And you join together to go about the business that you both have in common. You are both seeking to make money. They have something you don't have. You have something they don't have.
Yeah.
So you join together to make these two components work.
There's something else there, CT, though.
Yes.
And one could argue that this other person has come, and because they are selling snake oil, they are attracting people into their stall in the market.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And pulling people from your stall. Remember, your stall was where you'd go to Mombasa, get that vehicle for 1 million shillings, park it somewhere, and someone comes and tells you, nataka unipeleke airport. And you tell them, 2,500. Hiyo iko pesa mingi sana, mimi siendi. They go to the next guy. You're all in a cabal. You're all in this stall have decided below 2,300 we are not going to the airport, right?
Yes.
And then now this person comes, and in their next stall, they're saying, we can take you to the airport at 1,200.
Yes.
Someone goes to their stall and says, I want to go to the airport, 1,200. Then they'll use your vehicle to take you to 1,200. So a snake oil salesman who's coming to undercut you in the market. Is that what you're saying, really?
Exactly. That is what I'm saying, exactly, CT. And why I say so is that you can remember the Quill story. What these guys do is that they have got money. They can drive the conversation. And number two, I also agree. We had a kind of a mea culpa. We were culpable ourselves. Because before the advent of the e-hailing, the tax business was a closed business. You literally could not get in.
It was a cartel.
It was a very, very bad cartel.
Locked.
It was locked. It was even more bad than OPEC.
Ulikuwa na mashimo.
Yes.
Huwezi kuja kwa hii shimo.
Huwezi kuingia kwa shimo. And it was even a death sentence. You could get killed by those times. So when the online came, they opened up the space.
Okay.
And then Kenyans, because the taxi business was very, very, very expensive, Kenyans welcomed the online industry. Now, for ourselves who are desirous of getting to the taxi business, but we could not get in, we supported the Ubers, the Bolt, the taxis, and everybody for them to come up. And there was a lot of friction between the old traditional taxes and the new taxes. So what happened is that the government supported the digital economy.
Because it was democratizing the space.
Exactly, and we got in.
Right.
Now the problem was that there was no regulations. There was nothing to regulate this industry. These guys just came in and started their work. And the Uber and Bolt did a lot of work to educate Kenyans because they were the pioneers. Now from there, everybody else now started coming in. And the problem that happened was that the price war started between themselves to the detriment of the driver.
Okay. Was it always at the detriment of the driver from the very beginning?
No. When these application companies came in, remember we used to call them the ameliorators. They were making our situations better.
Yes.
But when the price war started, then we got to bear the brunt of everything.
How so?
Yes, what happened was this. When Uber started, they were charging 65 shillings per kilometer. And it was good money for us.
And that was the only rate? It was just a per kilometer rate?
No. There was even a per minute.
Okay.
There was a waiting time. There was base fare. So in a trip, a driver could make good money. Then what happened?
But that money was still lower than what the old taxi people had been charging.
Remember, we were not there because we could not get in.
So you people were new?
So we people were new.
So the 65 a kilometer was good for you?
Yes. And number two, where the old taxis were expensive is that because of their mode of operation, the base. They used to go, drop you to your location, and go back
And
to their
come back
base.
to the hole.
Yeah, so they used to charge double. When the application companies came, they only used to charge one way, because from here to town, I don't have to come back here. I'll just get another rider from town.
Yeah.
Those were the dynamics.
Yes.
And that was what made the fares start coming down. And we were not hurt by those fares.
Okay.
Now what happened was, when the competition came, the only thing they could compete on was price. It was not service. And now number two, because Kenyans, their tendency to get into new businesses en masse, everybody got in. And then the oversupply started. The application company started saying, so that you can get money, let us lower the price so that you can get more rides.
Okay.
But then the kilometers were the same, the time was the same. I don't know how you are getting more rides with the lower fares.
Well, were they saying that? Let me see if I can see this, so that we attract more people who are asking for rides on our app.
Yes.
Let us lower the price.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that I can attract CT and Eric and David to say, I want to use Bolt.
Yes.
This way, it means that I have more people who are demanding rides.
Yes.
Which means that I can then give the drivers more trips.
Exactly.
And that makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, somehow it made a bit of sense, because what happened is that before, the traditional taxis, you could just go and sit in a location for a whole day without getting a ride.
And then charge 5,000 bob and go home.
and go home. Today, you will just do a lot of louds. And this is even where the health problem is now coming in. When you are doing all those things, going loud, it is like a wild goose chase. You are not stopping. From here to there, from there to there, from there to there, from there to there. So basically, then at the end of the day, you start now doing your mathematics and your calculations. You find that, okay, today I have got 3,000 shillings in my pocket.
Yes.
But you have not counted the cost of getting to that 3,000 shillings.
Are you saying the cost was higher?
The cost was very high to your health, to the health of the vehicle. Yeah. The cost is just so high.
So are you saying that you are reduced margins, or are you running at a loss? If you did the cumulative, so I've made 5,000 shillings at the end of the day.
Yes.
But then looking at the number of kilometers, so you're thinking wear and tear for the vehicle, the amount of fuel you've spent, and your own sitting behind the vehicle, labor, let's call it labor.
Yeah.
Are you saying that those two are not balancing?
No, they are not balancing at all. So what we did to alleviate that, we have, as Linda was saying when she was in this seat, that there are some few of us who are noisemakers. We did make a lot of noise. And one of the things that happened was that we managed to get regulations. The application companies did not want it to be regulated, but we hammered the NTSA until we got regulations. That was the first step, regulations. The regulations are now 2 years in operation, but they are not working. But even before we got those regulations, I myself as David, I went as far as meeting the president, Dr. William Ruto. And it was in June 2021 during the Nairobi Economic Forum. And we were able to raise the issue that the application companies are shifting away our assets from ourselves to themselves, using riders as a medium. They were just shifting our assets and to themselves, our wealth.
Really?
Yes. Because when they give you that lower fare, for them their commission is static. But for ourselves, everything is going up and down. When fuel goes up, they do not increase our fares to us. So what happens? Our margins go down, but their margins are static.
The 18% is the same 18%?
No, actually 18% was put during the regulations. Before then, there was no regulations. So when we met the president said this: I will ensure that it is not you drivers, neither the application companies, who will be setting the prices.
Right.
Why is it that? is that nobody can be a judge of their own case. Currently, the application companies are a judge of their own case because they charge the fare that they know that you cannot resist. You cannot take a bus because a bolt is here.
Yeah.
So the president said that, and this is a promise that the president never kept. He did not follow it up. So what did we do? I asked David. We wrote to the AA of Kenya as wanting to help the president keep the promise. So we wrote to the AA of Kenya. And Mr. Francis Dawuri was very gracious. He did not charge us even a cent. But he did a fair computation for ourselves. And in the document addressed to the minister, here it is, to Kipchumba Murkomen by then. He said that in order for you to operate a taxi, this is the baseline. This is the baseline. And the document is here.
Okay.
Now, currently, even in the AA computation, they never included the salary of the driver and the margin of the vehicle owner and the commission of the application company. To run a small car, it came to 33 shillings. Currently, even Bolt is charging less than 33 shillings. And in this document for the AA, there was no salary of the driver, there was no margin of the vehicle owner, and there was no application company's commission. Meaning that when Bolt staff comes here and says that the fares are dynamic, to ourselves, we don't even know where that one came from. Now, City as a parent, if you have got two kids with one toy, and the two kids are fighting over that toy, what do you do, City?
Buy another toy.
And if in the market there are no other toys?
I remove the toy.
Good.
Remove the toy from the...
It's causing friction.
Exactly. So why we went and told the president that is, we wanted the toy removed from the application companies. We wanted that the application companies cannot be the one who are setting the prices, or ourselves that we are setting the prices. We had wanted that independent third-party motoring professionals to come and set the price. And it is very easy.
Price per ride.
Yeah, price per kilometer. Price per kilometer.
So like a base price.
A base price.
Right.
Like this one of the AA, which says very well here that to learn a 1050cc car, you have to charge that 3 shillings and 10 cents. And remember, this document was done
10cc or 1000cc.
1050cc.
Okay, 1050.
1050cc.
Yes.
That is the chaps, those small vehicles.
It should be 33.
33 shillings and 10 cents.
Another time when they enacted this, what was the cost of fuel?
That was in May 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now, and remember, even in 2017, because we had taken the application company to the ministry, the AA calculated that to run a 1500cc car was at 45. It is only our industry, the online industry, when everything is going up, in our industry, prices are coming down. And the problem is that we have got no recourse on what we can do.
City, can you confirm? As everything else is going up, as it's costing you more to buy unga, to buy nini, are you saying that the price of ride-hailing apps is, your taxi price is coming down? Is it true what David is saying?
Let me talk about my experience. You see,
is it becoming cheaper?
You see, for me, because I use taxis literally daily,
yes,
I get discounts.
Okay,
which now is a completely different discussion. I get discounts on almost every trip I make. Believe me, I use taxis a great deal. So I've never bothered to find out how that works. But what I do know, you're asking me, do I see a lowering of the price? Let me tell you what I experience. At certain hours, the same distance, I'll pay a certain amount. At certain hours, it'll go up. At certain hours, it goes really up. Like an example of, say, the days when we had those very, very heavy rains.
Yes.
A trip that would have cost me 600 bob was costing 900 bob, or even 1,000 plus. So it means there seems to be a progressive nature. And when I inquired, I was told certain hours there are many vehicles. Okay. So it's a question of supply and demand.
Okay.
There are certain hours and certain periods when there are few vehicles. So the demand goes up.
Sawa.
Umesikia?
My question is,
yes,
this 600 bob trip,
yes,
okay, is there any time when it has come to 400?
When it has come to 400, without the question you're asking is without a discount.
You see, even with a discount, it tells you this would be the fare, but we're giving you a discount, so it's now this much. So I'm asking that basic fare.
Nope.
Okay, David, let's discuss that after the break.
Thank you.
Okay, it is 24 minutes to 9. Our guest this morning is the chairman of the Digital Taxi Association of Kenya, David Muteru. We are talking about the concerns in the ride-hailing app, so just getting to understand the concerns from the drivers on what the issues are, because they've been making a lot of noise. We've had Linda Nongo from Bolt here twice, and we've seen the conversations, just trying to understand from both sides. We've heard from one side, now we want to hear from the other side. 24 to 9.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. The weather with SpiceFM.
It's very cold in here in the studio city. Please just do the AC thing, because I'm seeing the temperature outside is 18. The temperature in here is 2. Expect a high of 26 later today. Kakamega is sunny at 22. Expect highs of 29. Highs of 31 today in Mombasa. Highs of 31 as well in Malindi. Highs of 30 in Kisumu. Highs of 26 in Nakuru. Highs of 26 in Nyeri. Highs of 24 in Eldoret. Highs of 29 in Kampala. Highs of 32 in Kinshasa, 26 in Johannesburg, 31 in Lagos, 32 in Mogadishu, 23 in Addis Ababa, Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, highs of 30, highs of 18 in Beijing. They're about to hit that high, and then the temperatures will start dropping in the afternoon. They will go to as low as 5 later. Highs of 16 in Paris, or 17 in London. It's currently 17 in New York. When the sun rises, it'll warm up to highs of 24.
Chilled Spice.
Okay, Mambo in a car, VP, heading towards town. Manyanja Road was quite busy about half an hour ago. It's still busy right now, but it's getting better, because after that, Jogoo Road is all right. You go all the way to City Stadium, roundabout, it's fine. Landis Road, you'll find some traffic around Gekomba Market, Machakos bus. We call it Machakos Airport. Machakos bus stop. Mombasa Road heading towards town, you will find some traffic from Bellevue heading into South Sea, from Capital Centre, all the way to Nyayo Stadium, all the way to Bunyala Road, and all the way into Railways Bridge. Of course, it's at peak traffic hour. You'll also therefore find traffic on Aerodrome Road. Langata Road was busy earlier. Langata Road is now Nyue. It's also Nyue into Mbagathi Way until you get to the roundabout with City Mortuary. Westlands heading towards town, the usual areas. You'll find traffic from Mogoga Green Estate coming towards the mall. Westlands, James Geshoro Road is busy out and also busy in at ABC Place. Lower Kabete Road is busy, quite busy from Gesha Road Junction coming all the way to towards Sarit Center. That's Mwanzi Road. That's why you'll find all the traffic. Thika Super Highway is actually not looking so bad this morning, starting at Utalii, coming towards the interchange with Kiambu Road, and then thereafter at Pangani it moves. Wangari Maathai is clear. Juja Road is also quite clear.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right.
So 20 minutes of our conversation with the chairman of the Digital Taxi Association of Kenya, David Muteru. And as we get into this, so David, last year there was a proposal to now bring a regulator into this industry. And who would be the regulator in this case? Was it going to be NTSA? Was it going to be the Automobile Association of Kenya? Who would it be in your proposal?
Our regulator is NTSA.
Right.
That is the person, or that is the authority.
The legal authority.
The legal authority that regulates us.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the AA was just to assist to come up with something, because there is another body called the Competition Authority of Kenya.
Mm.
They have been very, very, very tough on us. Whenever we go to discuss pricing, they say that no two application companies can sit in a room and discuss prices.
Because that would be cartel.
Yeah, the last meeting was in Radisson Brew, and we were everybody. And for ourselves, we always get confused. Now, why we hear in other markets you can get guaranteed minimum returns. In the energy sector, there is the energy, the EPLC, the Energy Regulatory Commission. They set prices.
Yeah.
Why not in ourselves? And remember, in our case, between me, the cab driver, and you, the client, there is a snake oil salesman here or a broker here who is...
Not snake oil salesman.
No, they are very good.
No, but there's something. They are not selling snake oil. They're actually selling a service.
Let me apologize.
A legitimate service.
Let me apologize. I don't want to use that word again.
Yes.
There is someone here.
There's an intermediary.
There's an intermediary.
Yes.
In the Matatu sector, there are no intermediaries. In other sectors, there are no intermediaries.
And you see how we
in our case, there is an intermediary.
Yes.
The government, through the NTSA, must facilitate a conversation between me, the cab driver, and the intermediary.
Why must they?
So that we can... what does the government do? The government is here to protect Kenyans. Yeah, I have gone to Mombasa, bought a car worth $1 million shillings. Don't I have
the tripartite of Kenya needs some protection from government. Because there is CT who wants to use the Bolt.
Yes.
There is a David who has the vehicle.
Yes.
And there is Bolt who is running the app that is facilitating a connection between the three of you.
Exactly.
So you want somebody else now to come in and make sure that this tripartite
and supervise
works
us
very well.
For anything. You know, we have not even talked about security of the drivers. You know, we have not even talked about the operations.
Okay. So what was the NTSA's response?
The NTSA gave us something called the TNC rules 2022. Those are the regulations that the regime we are in. And even in our last meeting was that these rules are so weak that the NTSA is not even able to enforce these rules. Because you remember, it was ourselves, David here, we are the one who wrote the regulations, not even assisted by any lawyers and the ministry. So we don't have that capacity of tying up the
loose ends,
such that we cannot be exploited or misused. So currently, we are in the process of having the TNCs reviewed so that they can take care of everything. There was a study to be done by the World Bank about pricing, because what the application company said that they could not use this document because it does not take care about dynamic pricing, surge pricing, when you say about the rains and everything. It does not take care of that. So there needs, what we were suggesting is this. When you make the price as Bolt, where do you come from? What are your KPIs?
So the parameters for deciding. I'm sure you had Linda here last week, but where she said there are three things that come into pricing.
Yes.
There's a base price, which is make sure that at least there's a base price that the driver will get.
Who made it?
Okay.
They did.
Yes, exactly. They did it.
All right.
Yeah.
And then they factor in the time of day.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, and also how long this trip is likely to take.
Yes.
If a trip is going to be 1 hour long, we know that this driver will be working for 1 hour, so we are looking back. And then there's the distance.
Yes.
And the issue of distance.
Yes.
So if you're going from, let's say, Parklands Police Station to Sarit Center, it's a short distance.
Yes.
But there may be traffic.
Yes.
So it may take you longer.
Yes.
So they'll factor in those two things. It's a short distance.
They don't. Actually, what happens is that there is something called upfront fare, which tells you from town to the airport is 1,000 shillings.
Yes.
What happens is that you come to Nyeri Stadium, the president was passing by, the rider tells you, let's use Outer Ring Road. If I refuse, I get punished. If I use Outer Ring Road, I'm not paid, I'm not indemnified for using that route. I had only wished that Rita would have been here with me. And I knew that is why she had to kind of say, we cannot be in the same room and that and that.
How do you know she said that?
She didn't say that. We actually are the ones who said we want to hear. We've heard from them. We want to hear from you. Because in the end of this whole conversation, our aim as a situation room is to see, can we actually get to understand? Can everybody get to understand everybody else's thinking? So you're saying that this is not dynamic.
It's not.
When it's set at the upfront.
What happens is that the upfront fare, even if you fight traffic, and you know Kenyan traffic changes in a moment, even if you fight that traffic, Nothing changes.
Are you saying it doesn't adjust at all?
I am a driver. I can show you my app. After this one, I'm going online. So it is not that because I'm a chairman, I sit in an office somewhere. No. I finish this, I go to the road. So
vehicle.
I'm talking from the driver's perspective.
And what you'd like is that those factors are put in.
No, what we had suggested is the meter. The actual time taken and the spin of the wheel. If, Eric, you tell me let's pass by the bypass or by the expressway, my costs are taken care of. Today...
Now you know, there's something else that we always talk about. Us guys, now the customers.
Yes.
Huyu driver anakaa kwa jam ndio time iongezeke, ndio pesa yake iongezeke.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yes.
Huyu driver, he's using the longest route.
Yes.
Ndio nilipe pesa zaidi.
Good.
Now, how do we mitigate against those things? Because that I'm the one who's going to suffer.
Yes. The app shows the way, the route. It is only by your authority that I can stop using that route. You tell me, David, let us not use the bypass, let us use Nyayo Stadium. So whatever happens, it is you give me the route. However, if today I change the route, even if by your authority as a rider, I'll get punished by the application company because I did not use the route that they recommended.
How will they punish you?
Yeah, by ratings.
I see.
Yeah. By ratings.
Very good. I like that.
So what happens is this. You tell me yourself that David, let us pass by this route. You are the rider. You should also get a light to determine which route you should pass.
So I should be able to get onto the app and say, let's change the route.
No,
the rider.
What they do is that they keep on upgrading the app, but some other times you don't have that option.
Yes and no, because sometimes that app doesn't work. If you're listening to it, it tells you to follow a route which you as the rider know this route is not going to work for us. But most times you expect the driver to know the route because somebody who is a taxi driver knows more routes than you do.
Yes.
Who is the passenger.
Yes.
So most times we who consume that service, we sit back and wait.
Yep. So you actually depend on the knowledge of the driver.
Yes. This is what they do every day. So they will know things that you don't know, and they will know routes which you don't know. One, they also know the traffic patterns. They know when to follow this route, when to do this. They know, because that is what they do every single day. Yes.
So what I can say here is that, and I'm glad that Du is not in, it's like two people, I suppose. I make a mistake, she gets mad, I apologize. She makes a mistake, I get mad, she gets mad, I apologize. So that is exactly what happens in our situation. There is no time that we don't apologize.
So the husband has to constantly apologize.
Yes.
When he's wrong and when he's right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Especially when he's right.
That is what application company does to us. For you.
So that's the kind of relationship that you feel you're in.
Exactly.
And coming back into the regulator, what then did NTSA? How far are you with this?
Yeah. Now let us come with solutions, and I would want you to please to help us see that this solution comes in. 20 years ago, during the Michoki rules, the matatus were very chaotic, and even if you could go to Australia, 40% of the inmates were matatu people. Yes. When the matatus got the circles, or operating in organized groups, today you cannot go to Australia and find a matatu driver. Why? They are protected by their circles. So our suggestion has always been, since there is a third party between me and the client, the driver should be protected by operating in organized groups.
Okay.
However, the application companies has made us, we are the devils ourselves. They tell the drivers that these guys want to eat your money. And even the drivers start believing them. That it is the driver believes that he'd rather be misused by the app than be misused by David.
David, this everything I'm hearing you say, why is it that you have such an adversarial relationship with the app?
Yeah, imagine you have bought a car worth million shillings,
yes,
and you at the end of the day, your car is auctioned because you are unable to meet the obligations of paying for this car. Wouldn't you be an adversarial? And it is not me; it is thousands and thousands of drivers.
You know, my view on this hasn't changed. Who told you to go and buy that car, and who asked you to join the app?
What has been made, City, is this: the app has shown Kenyans that in this industry the employment opportunities are unlimited. So what everybody does, everybody wants to make money. Even you yourself, you can buy a car for a side hustle. So you will come. People like you are the ones who are buying those vehicles. We are the autochthones of this industry. We are the original people. And this is our work. For ourselves, it's not a side hustle. It's our work. So people like the office people who have come and gotten into our work, they have eaten our profits. There is oversupply. What we would like to do is to control supply, because you can get 10,000 vehicles, but these vehicles, because of the amount of work, you will employ 20,000 drivers. If each vehicle will be done by 2 people.
David, what you are doing, what you are saying today, as David, who got into this business because of the democratization of the space.
Yes.
It has let us go to the days before democracy. Because you just told us, before democracy, there used to be a cartel that used to limit the supply.
Yes.
If you wanted to enter into this business, they would limit the supply and tell you, no. Hapa Chaka, between Chaka and the Hurlingham roundabout, hatuwezi ongeza taxi ingine.
True.
That is what David is now saying today.
No.
You're saying,
I'm not.
Let's go.
I'm not saying that.
What are you saying, David?
3 things. One, those old days there were no regulations. Today we have regulations.
Okay.
If you want to come into this job, there are some standards for you to come in.
I get it. So you're saying the way we have matatus get into a circle.
Yes.
And then there's one umbrella body that you're dealing with.
Yes,
the regulator then deals with that umbrella body.
Exactly.
You want the same.
Yes.
Okay.
And what do you want the same is one, the security of the driver, the
welfare.
The welfare of the driver, and even the driver himself or herself is somebody who has been vetted, is not a criminal, it's not people who will go abusing, because what you'll do is that you'll be phased out by your organized body.
I hear that. And I think it makes sense because city, it is about if you say that, let's say, the Digital Taxi Association of Kenya is converted into SACCO.
Yes.
Or let's just say the Westlands, people who are operating in taxi in Westlands, you register and you get into this one association.
Yes.
It has its leadership, and the regulator NTSA knows these are the vehicles that are registered under this.
Yes.
These are the drivers.
Yes.
This is the quality of driver that we have.
Yes.
When we need to go and do retraining of drivers, we make sure that then they are freshly certified.
Yeah, true.
When we are vetting and this and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
The apps also know that we have onboarded driver David onto our app, but driver David is under the Westlands SACCO. All right.
So if driver David does something, you don't even need to go looking for everybody. You just go to that circle and say your driver did this.
Yeah.
That one affords protection to the driver, gives the driver his a security of tenure of his job. The driver pays their taxes because now there is some responsibility.
Okay.
Today, even if you want to pay tax, where do you get 20,000 drivers from where? And we may want to pay the housing levy.
Yeah.
How do we pay for the housing levy if you want to pay for it?
Yeah.
There are no facilities. But if we are organized, our industry is also capable of even doing a lot of things for the government.
Second.
Now, our issue is, I don't know why the government does not see this. I don't know whether it is only me who sees it. The government does not see it. Because we have been dealing with the director of transport for a lot of
They
years.
will
And
see
we have
it.
told them.
Show them the circle, which the circle actually motivated the security industry to do the same thing.
Yes.
Now you have a regulator for the private security companies.
We do.
That is doing the same thing.
Yes.
Even the picky-pickies, they were very chaotic today.
Yes.
Now, the online, I think we are, because we have bought vehicles, they think we are millionaires. We don't need to be regulated because I've got vehicles. Today, the people who are buying vehicles are just normal people.
David.
Yeah.
If it has worked for other people, it can work for you. So the question is, why is it not working for you?
Because, one, the government must regulate us. Even Michuki said, even if you are a matatu owner, to drive a matatu, you have to wear a uniform, even if it's your matatu. That was law. Today, there is no law that will tell a driver that for you to operate, you must be in an organized group. All that is what we are asking from the government. And if we get that, you will never see us in the streets again. To do what? Because even the application companies will know that this is the leadership. If you want to...
Do your drivers want to be regulated?
No, well, yes and no. And why do I say yes and no? It's because most people do not hawataki kuwajibika. Watu wengi sana, hata wewe kuna pahali hata wewe mwenyewe hutaki kuwajibika.
Hatupangwingwi bwana.
Hatupangwingwi. However, ukiangalia on the other side unaanza kuona afadhali nipangwe na kazi yangu iwe nini? Iwe secure. Unaona? So those two positions, city. This is what we are now trying to mitigate.
You know, we work in an industry that is regulated.
That is regulated.
Guys, in broadcasting.
Oh, we are regulated. We are very strictly regulated.
Now you see.
There are things we cannot say.
Good.
There are things we cannot do. There are things we cannot allow. For instance, if you come here and start insulting people, just tell you stop.
You cannot say that.
No, not you cannot. You can go and say it where you want, but here you will not.
Good.
Yes. All I'm saying is, for regulation to work, even if it exists, people must want it.
Yeah.
If you have a regulation that people don't want, they'll find ways of subverting it.
True. Now, for ourselves, it's like I'm very, very happy about this opportunity because it accords me a forum. Even you agree with me. Now the problem is even in follow-up. After we leave here, what will Agent Provocateur do to make sure that this thing is actualized so that even when you are being served by the application company and the driver, you can feel that I have a recourse if the driver does this to me or if the application does this to me.
In fact, I like it from the point of a user.
Yes.
Because one of the things that as the concern that is there for most of the users is safety. Is I want to be able to trust. I want to know
safety, reliability.
Reliability.
Yes.
And if then you are in some umbrella that I know that is someone else has done the job of doing the checking and all, makes it easier for me. David, will this getting that help you, be more comfortable? I wanted to say keep quiet. Be more will it help you now be more comfortable in saying, okay, we are in a business that is making sense for us? If we get into a regulatory framework that says all drivers, this is how you're regulated. You app companies, this is how you're regulating you in terms of setting the prices and all. There's a formula for price setting and for price dynamics. That will work?
You will never hear another day of noise from us. Why? Because we acknowledge application companies are very good. It's a very good model. All what we need is a forum where we can engage. And once we get that, you will never hear us making noise. We want to make money.
Actually, we will hear you making noise because even if you have new terms, remember, you will get used to it and you'll want better terms. But you have to be cohesive. If you are not cohesive, and even if there are regulations, the things that you're hoping to achieve, you will still not achieve. You, as a group of people who actually are in this industry, must be cohesive.
David,
Yes.
Asante for joining us today. We'll continue with these conversations. We'll ask more and more. In fact, now NTSA, we should look for NTSA to come and tell us. So we are hearing from these sides, what as the regulator have you done so far? David Muteru is the Digital Taxi Association of Kenya chairman. He's been our guest. Keep it here for more. It's 9 a.m. In the next hour, we say, lest we forget, as you're talking about, get rid of the deputy president, let's go home, all this and the other. What else are we missing in this country?
Good morning. This is the News Wire. I'm Lea Ubaga. A large percentage of public employees continue to face the challenge of lack of understanding of the use of ICT communication technology. Speaking in Mombasa, Public Service CS Justin Muturi said that there is a need for all public employees to receive training in the use of ICT in order to facilitate the provision of services to the public. Muturi has asked various government departments to also ensure that their services are available across all Huduma centers in the country.
Its usage in service delivery. Also, some of our effort as a ministry now, Huduma Kenya centers, we require more and more government services and ministries and departments to onboard some of their services so that we can help them reach the lowest levels in the country.
And the family of victims in Nairobi's Eastleigh area is seeking justice after the three who disappeared on Monday were found dead. The three bodies were found in Bahati Parklands and Machakos respectively with similar injuries, even as a post-mortem exercise is set to take place anytime this week. According to the family, the two girls aged 11 and 22 left home on Monday evening at around 5:30 p.m. to search for their mother, who had gone out earlier in the day for skin treatment in Eastleigh, but had not returned home and had not communicated at all. They said it was unusual for her to be out for that long time. Here is a relative.
Auntie yetu anaitwa Waris alisema anataka kwenda kuangalia skin yake hapa BBS Mall, na alipoenda ilikuwa ni saa 2:30. Walimngojea wao mpaka ikafika saa 5 na bado hajarudi. Wakimpigia simu anasema ninafika na kuja, na then hao wakasema hao wasichana wawili sasa ambao wameletwa, huyu Amina Dahir na huyu kazini yake mdogo, wamesema sasa tuende tumchukue, but it's late, lakini tuende tukamchukue. Na hiyo ndio mara yetu ya mwisho kuwaona na wao pia kuonekana. Asubuhi tunasikia habari kuna maiti imewekwa hapa Park Roads, ndio tumekuja kuhakikisha kama ni yeye. Tumemkuta akiwa ameuliwa vibaya, amekatwa. Mama yao bado sahihi hajulikani kama ako hai ama walioua hawa pia amemuua, because wametupwa, miili yao imetupwa pahali different.
And up to this time what we can say is that our pathologists are going to take over, do the postmortem, and any other further details will follow later.
Police officers in Navoholo constituency in Kakamega County are detaining a 42-year-old man on charges of murdering his mother on grounds that she has been practicing witchcraft against him so that he doesn't get a wife. 52-year-old Anna Mimo was hacked to death by the suspect, Boniface Wesonga, alleging that the deceased and other people in the family were responsible for his misery of constantly being possessed by demons.
Hasa mimi kufika nikakimbia nikaona mamake Esther analia, anasema William sijui nini. Nikakimbia nikaenda pale watu walikuwa huko nyuma. Kufika huko mamangu amedungwa na visu, alikuwa ameinama, amefanya hivi kichwa na damu ilikuwa tu inatiririka.
Na huyu Boniface mimi nimekuwa na yeye nikifanya kazi pale Bushiri, kwa najenga hizi madarasa ya shule hapa Bushiri. Na Boniface aliniambia kuna mambo huyo yanamsumbua, na tulikuwa na fundi mwingine akasema ati hapa kuna watu ambao wanasumbua yeye, na ameambiwa na waombaji, na hao waombaji walimwambia, akataja majina, akasema baba huyu Wesanza, alafu akasema mama yake. Nikamuuliza sasa, hao waombaji wakikuambia hivyo wewe unadhibitisho gani? Kwa sababu hujawahi waona, umeambiwa tu, utafanya nini? Akasema ndio nauliza advice nijue nitafanya nini. Nikamwambia mambo kama hayo we omba, tafuta Mungu. Kama unasumbuliwa na vitu we omba Mungu afanye nini? Akusaidie.
And finally, a 1-year-old child died while 14 passengers were hospitalized in serious condition after a truck rammed into a matatu along the Narok Maimahiu Road. Police said the matatu was heading towards Maimahiu with 15 passengers on board when the truck rammed into 8 from the rear. The child's body was taken to the mortuary while both vehicles were towed to the Ntelele traffic base. That's the news wire. I'm Lea Obaga.
.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
So if you're coming from Ngong Road, Langata Road, using the southern bypass and you want to head towards Mombasa Road on this other side of Ole Sereni, you will find traffic along the southern bypass near the Phenom Estate and Wilson Airport. Around there, I do not know what's causing this, but it's some serious traffic. So if you can avoid it, just avoid it. But if you're in there, just be patient. It's moving. After the airport, it clears up. So you will get into South Sea, and it will be moving all the way to Ole Sereni into Likoni Road, into Mombasa Road. Don't worry about it. You're heading towards town, and you're finding right after Bellevue at Capital Center. You'll start traffic there. You'll go with it all the way to Nyayo Stadium roundabout. But you can get into Muhoho Avenue and get through South Sea. And if you're heading then upwards, you can get through South Sea, Muhoho Avenue, into Nairobi West, onto Langata Road, and you get up, or into Maimahiu Road, and you get to Timol and go to Mbagathi Way. Head that way. But if you need to get to Bunyala Road, then stick in that traffic. You'll get to Nyayo Stadium, then you'll get to Bunyala Road, you will move into town. If you are on Thika Superhighway coming towards town and you find traffic from Utalii, it's all right. It's not so bad. Even Kiambu Road, it's not so bad. After the interchange, it's all good and all clear.
This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room.
8 minutes after 9. We are on to the final hour of The Situation Room. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. The Situation Room broadcast every weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. If you're just joining us today, asante sana. You haven't missed much. You just only missed 4 years of these interesting conversations every weekday. But 4 years, what's 4 years in a lifetime?
Surely.
Yeah, surely. It's not much. So welcome. Start the journey with us, and thank you for joining us. City. The importance of doing regular medical checkups cannot be gainsaid, especially like you've told us many times. You are a man, you hit 40, start increasing your regular checkups.
My friend, you'd better go and
You're
get
a woman,
checked up.
whatever, just do your checkups. And it's not about when you are a man over 40, that's when you start doing checkups. You're a human being.
Get checked.
Get
in the habit. Just like
get in the habit.
You're in the habit of brushing your teeth. Get into the habit of getting a checkup. The beauty of it is that it'll not be as frequent as the brushing of your teeth, and it's even more important than the brushing of your teeth. Yes, because your health just doesn't begin and end with your teeth. Your health is your entire body, and a checkup involves the entire body, whether it is your teeth, whether it is your eyes, whether it is your nose, whether it is your neck, whether it is your feet, every part of your body. And it is important to know, because when you know, then you can respond appropriately. And if you do not know, then something will happen to you and it will be untoward, and for all you know, it might get you hospitalized. For all you know, it might take you straight to the ICU. For all you know, it might even kill you. Now, all those are things you can actually avoid. Yes. Go for a checkup. And the Akanya University Hospital is saying, if you go to one of its 53 outlets, and you want a checkup for 9,950 Kenyan shillings, you will be able to get that checkup. Yes. And they will tell you. And you will know.
Yep.
And when you know, they will also guide you as to what you can do next. Yes.
So Tala, because of being in this market for so long, they understand a lot about what happens in the market, right? They have been here for 10 years. So Tala is marking 10 years this year. Over 500 billion shillings in loans disbursed in those 10 years in Kenya alone. They're also not just in Kenya. They're operating in the Philippines, in Mexico, and in India. Now, one of the things about Tala, once you download it, and we said, download Tala, not because you must borrow today, but download Tala so that the day you need it, you will borrow. Download Tala and get into that habit of, it's like the argument that banks have of getting a credit card, right? You get a credit card, you're increasing your credit rating. There's a day that you'll actually need to do some shopping and you don't have the limit that you have that is in the shopping. But because of your credit card, it then gives you that. But you also know that you're able to pay it. So there's a thing of financial literacy there. You need to understand your capability to pay so that then you borrow something that you can pay within a good time to continue being on the positive in your credit rating. Choose your own due date. Tala allows you to choose when to pay between day 1 and day 61.
Yes.
You say, I want to pay in 40 days.
Yes.
Sour. I want to pay in 50 days.
Yes.
Sour. It is you to actually choose.
Yes.
It allows you to lipa pole pole. That is, you only pay for the days that you need. If you choose to pay in 30 days and you clear in 15, you'll only pay for the 15 days.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Lipa pole pole. Then, because of those things that we're talking about, the financial literacy, and just getting into your borrowing loop. So sometimes people actually get into that loop where you have borrowed from this app, you borrowed from the other app, then you have just so much, you have so many balls.
You're balancing too many balls in the air.
Then you're now borrowing from this one so you can go and pay there, and then you're finding that your credit score is now dropping on this one. Last time I could borrow up to 20,000 shillings on Tala, now it's telling me I cannot borrow out to 18,000, and I'm wondering why. Look, boss, take a step back. And in fact, the best thing to do is learn. Tala has a learn center within the app where you get free financial courses on budgeting, on saving, on debt management.
Yes.
Within the Tala app. So just take time, go through it. In your free time, you're sitting somewhere, you're waiting for someone to come, you're chilling at home, you're relaxing. Go through that app. It gives you these lessons. Just understand your budgeting, understand your saving, understand your loan management. This way, then it makes sense for you.
It makes a lot of sense. And if you think that advice is not necessary, then why don't you just start your own app where you can borrow from yourself?
Ujikope ujilipe.
Yes, kwa sababu
auction.
They have the means to lend you the money. It means they do know something about money. Yeah. They do know something about budgeting. Yeah. They do know something about management of resources. They do know. Because if they didn't know, that business would not be 10 years old, and they would not be growing, and they would not have lent over 500 million Kenya shillings. That wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very true.
Yes.
Download Tala on Google app. So, no, it's called Google Play. Download it on Google Play. Siti,
yes.
Remind us the proverb for today.
Yes. From the Republic of Tunisia. It's bordered by very many countries. Algeria, Libya, and, of course, the Mediterranean Sea. He sells the monkey and makes fun of the one who buys it.
He sells the monkey and makes fun of the one who buys it. Wajinga ndio wali wao.
Yes, na ndio wale waliobaki. Yes.
Okay. Now, talking about the monkey sellers and the monkey buyers, there's something that's happening in the country right now. For the last 3 weeks, it's like our attention was suddenly moved from other conversations that were happening in the country.
Yes.
Into one conversation. And the one conversation is, on the one hand, it's actually a very good conversation because it's making us get to understand our katiba.
Yes.
But then there's the political side of it. The move and the push to impeach the deputy president and the drama that comes with it. And all the, now stories starting to emerge. Oh, I was being poisoned in Kisumu. Oh, I was the one we were doing. Oh, people are fired. Oh, I was slapped at the airport. All those kind of things now are starting to come up. And now it becomes this kind of drama where we have focused our eyes and our attention on this drama. Before this drama started, the country was talking about other things. For example, it was at the beginning of October, and the transition from NHIF to the Social Health Authority was coming in. And there were what they described as teething problems. And people getting into these facilities are wondering, okay, so is it NHIF, is it SHA, is it SHIF? Who am I paying to? Am I paying? Do I need to go with a card? Am I going home? Do I need it? And all those conversations that were coming out to the public domain now suddenly were minimized. So do we know whether people are now happy and comfortable when they go to hospital? Are they accessing health services as they should have? Because now we have the Social Health Authority. Are all facilities actually allowing people to come in? You don't need a shift share. Just come and give me your ID number, and I see you're already registered, so you're in level 4, you go on. Do you need to pay any amount of money when you go to your local dispensary? Is that what's happening? Is anybody who is going to be delivered of a baby at a local maternity actually getting the maternity services without paying a shilling? Because that is what should happen. Unless you've been referred from a local facility into a level 4 where then shift kicks in, you should go to your local dispensary that has a maternity, you get your baby, you go back home, selling 0 paid. 0. Is that what's happening? Do we know?
No.
We don't know. Okay. There have been all these conversations about, the private initiated proposal by Adani about JKIA. Is it working? Is it not? Then we moved there into energy. So we're seeing this energy, what they're thinking about it. Do we know what's happening there? We don't know. We're in October. Children are starting to sit their KPSEA exams next week, and they're sitting their KCSE exams this week into next month. We shall go into November. We shall then go into December. We shall come into January. The children who are currently in grade 8 will be going to grade 9. Junior secondary is domiciled in primary schools. We know that primary schools before using K844 had 8 classrooms, standard 1 to standard 8.
Yes.
Now there's a grade 9. That means that there's a need for an extra classroom. And then we'll have now the complete junior secondary, because the current kids who are doing KPSEA now in grade 6 will be joining junior secondary next year, grade 7. Our current 7s will be going into 8. Our current 8s will be doing 9. Okay? And our secondary schools will not admit Form 1s, because Form 1s, no more Form 1.
It doesn't exist.
All right? Do we have the extra classrooms in our primary schools, both public and private, to accommodate grade 8s next year? More than that, do we have teachers who will now be able to cover 3 classes of junior secondary? Do we have? Because that's an entire school. Junior secondary, grade 7, grade 8, grade 9. When the current 8s were in 7 last year, they went an entire term without teachers. They were just being taught by their primary school teachers. Fanyeni revision, as the government was employing. Those interns have served 1 year now. They've just applied for a job to become permanently employed and be absorbed. The same 46,000. Are those 46,000 teachers the ones who are going to teach 7, 8, and 9? Are they sufficient? Do our schools have enough teachers? Are these conversations that we are having right now in the country? No, we are not having these conversations in the country. We have had many, many cases of people who've just disappeared without a trace. They've been abducted, they've disappeared, there's this and the other. In terms of our national security, what's happening? Where are the people who have disappeared? Where are the people who have been reported as missing? Whether they were abducted or they just disappeared off the face of the earth. What's happening with that? Where are they? Are the families getting the answers that they need? We don't know. We are seeing an escalation of violence in Tana River County. Okay. Community this has been told because of river flooding. You need to move from the banks of the river. We are moving you to another place. How is that being managed? Are we seeing an escalation of violence where 10 plus people have died in a conflict? Do we know? Do we know?
No, we don't. And this was.
Do we have answers about what happened that 21 children died in a school fire in a dormitory?
No.
Do we know what happened? So lest we forget, these are the issues that have been there in this country before Gachagua occupied the headlines.
You know, the thing that we seem to have acquired as part of our national ethos is our ability to forget. Something happens, it's in the headlines, and we remember it, and we are very engaged and we are very animated about it, and then something else comes along and we forget. It's like we seem to forget the things that are important in our lives. We seem to forget the things that are a priority in our lives, and we seem to go with the wind. If the wind seems to blow in the direction of something new, we follow it. It is right that people should be concerned about the leadership of the country. It is right that people should be concerned about what happens with the process of constitutionalization of this particular country. But it is not right when the process that is primarily and in a dominant manner political, it is not right that that should occupy our minds at the cost of everything else that is actually important. Because one of the things that you experience when you read a Kenyan paper every day are things which could directly be referred to as the mental health condition of this country. A body found in some place. Somebody has hacked someone to death. An altercation has arisen and someone has shot 3 people. A security officer has committed suicide. Everything that we read, and if there's an escalation of it, it means that the problems that we have are not decreasing, they are increasing. And why are they increasing? Should there not be a way in which we can be assured that these matters that keep coming to our attention are being addressed? Now, if we choose the path of forgetfulness because we find it is either too painful or too burdensome, then what we are saying is we as individual citizens of this country are running away from the responsibility that we have. And that responsibility is the responsibility of the sovereign to understand that it is your right to be able not only to demand, but to ensure that that demand is met and that the things that are afforded to you as a citizen of this country are actually delivered. That diversion moves you away from the delivery of these things which are essential to you and to members of your family and to every citizen of this country.
We forget so fast. There's a story on page 6 of the Standard today which says criticism mounts as MPs remain silent on matters affecting citizens. So Parliament is now on a short break after extending and having an extraordinary sitting on Friday, in which the main business appeared to have been the approval of the nomination of Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki as the next Deputy President, and Parliament quickly, they approved it. These are the issues that we're talking about that are affecting Kenyans. We haven't seen, for example, Parliament take a special sitting to discuss the crisis in our education sector. We have a crisis in our education sector.
We do.
It's a crisis.
We do.
Post-secondary, there's an issue of funding. How are we funding our post-secondary education, whether it's university or TVETs? In secondary, we have the issue of, quality. So next year, we're not going to have Form 1s, all right? So the Form 2s, 3s, and 4s, as they transition out, and then the 8s go into 9, and the 9s start now going into senior secondary school, where they go into pathways. How clear are we on these pathways and how they shall move? How clear are we on the 9s and how they shall get into 9? All these issues, how much money are we spending on education, and are we getting a value for money? These are questions that have been raised by people so often, even members of Parliament themselves. One of the reasons why they keep arguing on why they need to retain CDF is because we are the ones who are taking children of Kenya to school. It's because of CDF that children are getting bursaries. It's because of CDF that we're able to build schools. Are we getting value for our education? We are not. People have argued this very many times. Members of Parliament know very well that there's been an issue about disappearing Kenyans. Kenyans who've just basically been kidnapped, they reappear, no questions asked, nothing. When you had Bob who came here, he had been kidnapped and abducted by people he doesn't know. He was kept in a room for 32 days. And he gave us this story here and he was crying. An old man who is 47 years old, just sitting and recounting the ordeal and shedding tears, unable to speak. And telling us, I was picked up from a matatu in Kitengela, not in Kitengela, in Mlolongo. I was taken to a place I don't know. I was cuffed and blindfolded for 32 days. I came out, I was told those were 32 days. Nobody spoke to me in those days, even since then. Assuming that he was not picked up by Kenya security agencies, Kenya security agencies would have come to him and said, we'd like to record a statement with you. Please tell us what exactly happened. So we pieced together, who is this? Who is operating this abduction ring and cartel within the territory of the Republic of Kenya? Well, we, security agencies that are funded by taxpayers, are here. Nothing like that.
Nope.
Parliament itself has not even summoned Professor Kithure Kindiki and the IG of police to come and say, boss, what's happening to the citizens of Kenya?
This one has complained that they were abducted.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit
about it.
Yes, shed light on this.
We have heard of the very many people who have turned up dead.
Yes,
Tell us about it. There's an MCA who's gone missing, a member of the county assembly, picked up on Enterprise Road many days ago. Where is he? How far are you in pushing for this? What is happening? The promise of this administration was that there'd be no more abductions.
That had been the promise.
Yeah. So, lest we forget, we haven't moved in resolving all these issues.
You know, it appears as though when one looks at what's happening in this country, that the solution that is required is not only difficult but is unattainable. That is actually not true. We have very many things in this country that function and they run well. One of them is Parliament. Parliament functions. We know it functions because we see them making decisions, we see them meeting, and we see them taking recesses. So we know they're there. How else do we know they're there? Well, we've had an issue that has been in the headlines for the longest time, and that is the impeachment of the Deputy President, and we've seen their involvement. And their role primarily is to look after the interests of the citizens who elected them. Delegated power.
Yeah.
But this delegated power in this country seems to have taken a completely new meaning. It is more like absolute power. It is delegated to you, but then you proceed to make decisions that suit you, not the people who actually elected you. And this is not only the norm. It looks like with every step that we seem to take, it's being entrenched so that it becomes solidified and there is no other option other than what we have. Lest we forget, our constitution gave us a very, very clear indication of where we stand with regards, A, to our elected leaders, B, in relation to ourselves, C, in relation to the country. We, the citizens of this country, are the sovereign. And the complaints that we have are the complaints from the sovereign to those to whom they've delegated power. And they're saying, you are not serving us well. And we have given you the power to do precisely that. You are not serving us well, and yet we've given you the resources to do precisely that. You are mismanaging our resources, you're representing us badly, and we are having a bad time.
Thank you for the bricks. You applied the bricks right on time. We want to open the phone line 0719-012-600. That's 0719-012-600. What we'd like to do is have a conversation as a country. All right? This one, let's not even address it to the leaders. Let's just tell ourselves, lest we forget, what else are we dealing with as a country? Lest we forget, what issues are we addressing? There are many young Kenyans who have applied for IDs. They have not received an ID. Without an ID, they cannot open a bank account. Without an ID, there are so many things that they cannot do just because they don't have this identification document.
Yes.
And they've applied for it, right? Lest we forget, all those issues, we'd like to hear from you. What else are Kenyans likely to be forgetting and we should not forget? What should we keep out there as the main issues to discuss? Lest we forget. lest we forget. 0719-012-600. What we'll do first is we'll take this quick break, take a look at the weather forecast, and then we'll pick your calls for the next half hour, lest we forget.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
If a lion shows you its teeth, it doesn't mean it likes you.
It doesn't mean it likes you. It won't start. A liar calls as witness one who is either dead or far away. Say it in Kiswahili.
Ben low, nin inte, nin there, ayu markati kadikta. You know this character called liar. He has disturbed people. So when you tell him, who are your witnesses, he will take you to a place where it is difficult to verify.
For someone like me who sweats a lot, I cannot survive there. Sweating is biblical. Good. And he must blame it on Adam, not me. Because Adam messed up and he was told, now you fellow you, by the sweat of your brow, thou shalt eat.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
The weather with SpiceFM.
Sunny in Nairobi at 20, in Kakamega 24, in Eldoret partly sunny at 20, mostly sunny in Mombasa 28, sunny as well in Malindi at 29, sunny in Kisumu 25, sunny in Nakuru at 19, sunny in Nyeri at 20, in Kampala heavy rain right now at 23, it's cloudy in Lagos at 24, it's sunny in Mogadishu at 30, it's sunny in Addis Ababa at 19, mostly sunny in Dar es Salaam at 27, same thing happening in Johannesburg, sunny at 18, it's mostly cloudy in Kinshasa at 25. It's cloudy in Paris at 7, cloudy in London at 12, clear skies in New York at 17, and it's sunny in Beijing at 18.
Spice up your life.
The issue that was there on Southern Bypass is still there. This is if you're coming in towards from Langata Road interchange, heading towards the Ole Sereni interchange with Mombasa Road, you will find a bit of traffic around Phenom Estate and Wilson Airport. So just be patient. You'll find that traffic is there, but it moves, it clears just within a short distance, about 200 meters or so of heavy traffic. Must be an incident up ahead. Okay, Mombasa Road heading towards town was very busy as you approached Nyayo Stadium and Bunyala. It's now right. As you came to town from Westlands, it was busy into the mall. It's now fine. As you went into James Gishuru Road into ABC Place, it was busy. Lower Kabete was busier, but now they are all fine. Thika Superhighway is actually improving, just starting at Mathare Hospital, and Kiambu Road also busy, but they are all looking quite good. Even Juja Road is all right, and Outer Ring Road, Kangundo Road Junction is fine. North Airport Road has been all right. Only issue now is just interchange between North Airport Road and Outer Ring Junction. Just a slight traffic, but then it moves.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
So we want to hear from you. 0719-012-600 for the next 27 minutes. We want to talk about this, lest we forget. What else is happening in this country that ought not to be forgotten, because we are dealing with issues like the impeachment of the deputy president, which is okay. It's a constitutional process. It's fine. Even as it goes to the courts, it's fine. It's all right. Let it take its course. But what else? So that we just don't focus on one issue as other things are happening behind the back, or other things are forgotten, and that's how they disappear. We know, for example, the education, in post-secondary education, in terms of university funding, the president set up several work streams, task force. And this was to look into various issues. Have they started sitting? Are they engaging the students? Are they engaging the parents? Are they engaging the universities? Are they starting to deal and address the issues as they should be? Those students who are affected, are they in university now? Have they been told to stay at home until they pay the full amount? What is happening on that side? in terms of health. How is it now with the rollout of the Social Health Authority? Are you going into the primary healthcare and getting the primary healthcare services free of charge? Are you going into emergency, chronic and critical care and getting those services free of charge? If you're going to level 4, 5, and 6 in hospital and you've already registered for the Social Health Authority, the Social Health Insurance Fund, are you able to go in there and walk back home and the insurance is actually paying for you? Is it happening or is it not? Just make a call. Lydia will pick the calls. There are many that are coming in, so we'll start speaking to the people right now shortly and hear what they think, lest we forget what's happening in the country. Good morning. This is SpiceFM. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Let's forget hapa hivi mnaongea na Dor.
Dor, how are you? Uko wapi?
Mimi niko hapa Jamaica.
Okay. Jamaica. Lest we forget, what do you want us not to forget?
Manze kitu siwezi taka manze watu wa forget. Yati manze ID zilikuwa free. Nalikuwa kwa hizo ID.
Umeapply ID?
Hii already niko na ID kwa yangu. But then unapata afisa hii manze sasa wase mwenye nachukua na niko na mabro hivi. Bana alafu mimi niko na wifi ati hapa na ambia yako na bola alafu naambia ati ati lazima nilipie mdo hii akizaliwa. Anazaliwaje bana alafu nalipia bana. Unasikio ni ngori.
Wapi?
Yaani nasemaje? Issue ya birth certificate.
Okay.
Pia tunasikia sasa kuna venye tunaanza kulipa na unacheki couple of years zilikuwa too free.
Sawa. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, who are we speaking to?
My name is Gerishom Majanja.
Thank you for calling us, Gerishom.
From Nairobi here.
Okay.
On the subject you're talking about, the biggest problem we have is that wananchi are not well informed about all these constitutional rights, what they should know. And it's just that watu wengi, yes, they are not informed. And I believe there should be a way of promoting it in churches, in institutions, even in schools. So effort should be made to ensure people are informed.
Okay.
But bills are made, they don't know about it. But on another issue, I want to ask for permission to discuss the oil industry. I have 20 years experience and I know what is going on. It could be better.
All right. Galshan, we'll take your number and we'll get in touch with you and invite you for this.
I'd like to be given a chance to talk about the petroleum industry. Thank you.
Asante. What do you think Kenyans ought not to forget about with everything else that's going on, with our focus and attention looking into one issue? Are there other things that are happening in the country that we ought not to forget? Lest we forget, some says the recent demolitions, the Gen Z protest, the continued abduction of Kenyans, the Adani deal, the lack of an IEBC, all these issues that are still pending. Lest we forget, Felix says this or that person can hold a particular position, whether in the company or president business. Instead of supporting each other like all Kenyans, we should all be thinking about, I don't know what he's talking about, Eric. You've come into another different conversation altogether. But okay. Our government is like a magician, wanting us to focus on one side while they're doing something else on the other side. Calling in from Australia this morning. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
My name is, I'm fine, thank you. My name is Paula.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask that sometimes maybe we should be thinking differently. Like, for example, about the ID cards.
Yes.
Probably the Constitution says that you have to vote with ID cards. But what if we have birth certificates? Because that's just a different strategy. So I'm just thinking we should also start thinking what we can't beat, maybe we can work around it.
All right, that's a good one. Thank you very much for calling. The issue of IEBC-CT is a conversation that's been there. We know that the new IEBC amendment law was signed by the president in the presence of other leaders, opposition leaders as well included. And then the disagreement was on the composition of the selection panel that is going to recruit the commissioners of the IEBC. That has not taken place. Why? The matter has gone to court. Why? Because of one aspect. There should be some representatives from the political parties' liaison committee. Now, there's a disagreement on who the political parties' liaison committee has chosen to join the selection panel of the IEBC. For that reason, we don't have a selection panel for the IEBC, so we are not recruiting commissioners into the IEBC. Can you imagine that this is where we are stuck at? We don't have an IEBC today that can even look at elections. Lest we forget, there are constituencies that have not had a member of parliament since 2022. There are wards that have not had representation in the county assembly for all this time. Lest we forget, when you talk about IEBC and things not moving, these are the issues. Let's take another caller. Good morning. This is SpiceFM. Who are we speaking to? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Who are we speaking to?
My name is Mugambi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling you from Nairobi.
Yeah.
And it's a very beautiful topic. And I really love and admire it. The first thing which I would like for me to say is that let us ask ourselves, because the image that we have in the parliament, the image we have in the Senate, and the image that we have in the main government from the police and everybody, my brother, that's our image. This is our own people. This is the way we think. But these people, they are there. They're just declaring the way they're thinking. There was a day I saw about Donald Trump. People are saying Donald Trump is a racist man, this and this and this. And then someone say Donald Trump is saying what Americans are always talking about behind people's back. Right now in Kenya, this is what we are, because this is what happened to me in fire station about 2 months ago. I was very sick. I fell down in the evening. So I was dizzy and then I fell down. Imagine there were more than, in the rush hour time, from 6:30 to 9. Nobody helped me there. These guys were pushing trolley. One of them just came and asked me, bro, are you okay? What's happening? He helped me get up and he took me to a certain pharmacy there. So if we are going to sit down and say we care about our own people, we care about, because you cannot tell me in the parliament we have people from another country who they are ruling us. No, it's Kenyans, but we don't care. Okay, as long as I'm going to be rich, as long as everything is going to go fine on my side, I will not say anything. Once something weird and funny happened to me, I will wake up and start screaming. Good example, the vice president. Let us be honest and be open. If you look at everything he has, it's not something that he worked hard to get. There was something shady. But because, Murima, it's our guy, it's our brother, it's our son. So, first of all, we need to say, I will care about my Kenyan brother and my Kenyan sister the way that I care about myself. Let us take the 10 commandments of God. Because right now, even you ask people, Ruto must go. Okay, let Ruto go. The person who is going to come there after Ruto, this guy, or if it's a lady, okay, whoever will come, he will need more than 3 to 4 years to control this country, to make sure everything is on the right path.
So if I was just to bring you back into the conversation specifically,
okay,
if you were to narrow down into one point, lest we forget, what should we not forget?
The thing we should not forget is that we are human beings, and whatever we are doing right now, it will come back to us and hurt us very, very bad.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dennis, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Yes, we are in a country where some young women were found in a quarry somewhere here in Embakasi.
Yeah.
No, one person was arrested.
Yeah.
We were later told he sneaked out of the police station.
Yeah.
And we are just okay. And that is the life we live in Kenya. We are forgotten.
We are moving on.
we are moving on, and all is just well. The police stations around that area are just working, and they are just arresting drunkards day in, day out. And it is just life, and you know that is the Kenya we live in. We are in a country, Latiff, where our university students, we are not aware where with their funding model. They cried, went on strike, some of them were tear gassed, and we just forgot it like that. We are waiting for a new batch next year. In fact, today the KCSE is starting, and they're waiting for the same mess that these ones underwent. We are in a country where Mama Lucy Hospital, there are no hospital beds for our mothers. It is just okay. Our governor is just around and about. He's a witness in some case. And that is the country we live in, Latiff.
Really?
So let us not forget that as we move on.
Let's not forget, like you said, Dennis, let's not forget the Kware killings. Who are those women whose bodies were found in Kware? Who are they? What's their story? How did they end up there? What's the story behind that? You know, some of these things we just sort of like, you know, it happened. Yeah. There were bodies were picked up. There was a lot of drama. They went. What's the story? Who are these women?
And why is it?
Do they connect with the stories of people maybe who've been reported missing in police stations? Reports anywhere.
And soon after that, how is it that there was a fire in that very same quarry?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
And then the story just died.
It just died. Did it just die, or did somebody purpose to ensure that it is dead? What is it?
Is there a value for human life?
One has to ask that question.
We're at a point where the Nairobi City County government is saying, look, our mortuary is actually full. We have very many bodies that are brought to the city mortuary and they have not been claimed. They have actually issued a notice that please come and look at the bodies at city mortuary and identify these bodies. Failure to do that, the law says that after a certain time when bodies are unclaimed in the mortuary, then the authorities can then go ahead and bury them. City mortuary has said, and the city county government has said, we are going to start burying people next week. Who are these people who are in city mortuary?
Yes.
How can just human beings just go and lie in city mortuary and claim? How is it?
And yet,
is there no connection between a home where these people came from,
a place where they came
from, and now they're suddenly in a mortuary and they've been there for months? They've been unclaimed.
And yet, we have individuals who are looking for their loved ones and cannot find them.
Yeah.
And it's not as though the numbers are diminishing. No. We read, we hear of people who have lost loved ones and they have no idea where these people are.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it's not just, it doesn't mean that because their bodies are in city mortuary and they were brought there, they necessarily are from Nairobi.
No,
because we have seen cases where somebody disappeared here and their body was found in another county.
Yes.
So it's possible that some of these bodies in city mortuary are actually for people who disappeared elsewhere.
People who may have left wherever it is that they are from came to Nairobi. Again, the same matter of looking for greener pastures. Something happened. Remember this story that we heard and we had of people whose families were looking for them and they ended up in Shakahola. Remember that story?
Yep.
Suddenly, there were so many people, and then that matter of Shakahola is still not resolved, is it? Have we exhumed all the bodies that are in that particular geographical location? The answer is no. Have we concluded that matter so that we can say this matter has actually been brought to a conclusion?
No. When you talk about this, in fact, somebody is pointing out here, John Mwangi is saying, all right, so we have a register of human beings in Kenya.
We do.
Right? The National Registration Bureau. When you apply for an ID, you go to the National Registration Bureau. What do they take? They take your biometrics, your fingerprints. If the government has the fingerprints of everybody to whom they've issued an ID in this country, are we saying that the people at City Mortuary, the bodies that are lying there, have not been matched with any of the information we have at the National Registration Bureau? That there's no way of basically telling who this body is, unless somebody comes to claim, I have lost someone, and then the thing is opened and you say, ni yeye huyu. That there's no other way the government can tell this is so-and-so who's lying here from the records that we have.
Simple question, and this can be asked at every level, whether it is through the MCAs or whether it is through the government officials who function at those levels of the county, the sub-county. How many people in this region have complained about their loved ones who they have no trace of, whose whereabouts they do not know? You start from there and you move along. They exist, and the numbers are not few. Yes.
Many. Lest you forget that the Senate is calling public participation on the 25th to look at the bill by Cherargei, which is proposing to do what? Extend terms of members of parliament and the executive from 5 to 7. This is a matter that, in fact, the Senate has published. Let's hear your views on this because it has been brought to you. Let's hear other callers on the line. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Eric. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Who are we speaking to?
My name is Jerry.
Yes.
I'm calling you from Nairobi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you wake up and you want to go back and sleep again. Because everything appears wrong. Healthcare is not working. Education is not working. Security is not working. You are hearing of abductions, disappearances, bodies in sacks and quarries and God knows where else.
Mortuary.
For the first time we were told that the mortuary is full. Can you even imagine that the mortuary is full? So what are we supposed to do? We stop dying or what? I mean, when the politics extremely high octane, every single day is politics, scandals. Then you're like, really, do we deserve all this? I'll be okay if probably out of 5, we have 3 things working, then we are struggling with 2. But now it's everything is not working.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, do these leaders even, how do they even sleep? Are they okay? I mean, if I was like, I'm a father and everything in my house is in a shambles, the kids, the mother, the workers, everyone is complaining, I'll be very, very pained and worried.
Yeah. We hear you. Let's hear from the other one. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Very well, thank you. Who are you speaking to?
Hello.
Hello, who are we
Hello.
speaking? Who are we speaking to?
Majanja.
Bajanja, please switch off your TV.
Now, I want to comment on this constitutional review.
Okay.
I want to comment on this issue of constitutional review. My point is that I've seen that bill, and my concern is that this piecemeal changing of the constitution is not right. I think there should be a committee or a commission put together to review how far this constitution has brought us and make clear adjustments with also the laws concerned. This piecemeal of changing the constitution is not right. Our members of parliament have an interest of their own and they are pushing their side. I recommend that a committee or a commission be set up to examine how far this constitution has worked so that everybody can submit their views and there can be a whole review of that constitution together with the concerned law so that it all is looked at once.
Thank you for your view, Majanja.
That bill should be rejected. But I'm sorry that Wananchi don't know about it. I'm in civic education. I know Wananchi don't know. These guys will push this thing through without the knowledge of Wananchi.
Thank you. Thank you, Majanja. Hello, good morning. Let's hear from this other caller. Good morning. Hello. Not online. So many comments coming in terms of what is it that's happening. Ezra says, I'm a funeral professional. What I can say is that we don't have laws and protocols and procedures for establishing unknown bodies, unidentified bodies, unclaimed bodies, and the disposal of the bodies should be done by the national government. All right? So there's a lot that goes with the issue of the unclaimed bodies and all. And then there's also that other issue of the push in the Senate on that bill, constitutional amendment, of course, because it's looking at changing the structure of government. That will have to end up in a referendum. But you've seen what's happened before.
We have
seen the kind of thing that happened before. Were it not for the courts, we were going to have a referendum in 2022.
Yes, we were.
On very many things in the constitution.
Yes.
It had gone through parliament. I don't know what had happened. And then Junet Mohammed, the now minority leader in the National Assembly, and Dennis Wawero came out as the proposers. They were the Mutusas that time.
Mm-hmm.
They took the bill and said, we're the proposers of this bill. And they played the Mutuse role. And it was heading there to a referendum.
And the courts?
And then the court said, no, hold on. You can't go about it this way.
This isn't the way to go about it.
But Parliament, the National Assembly, and the Senate had passed it.
Yes, they had.
It was on its way to us. Let's hear from Ali in Mombasa. Ali, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you guys?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
First, thank you for your civic education you are doing. People are thinking you are doing a talk, but that is a great civic education. We cannot find it in anywhere else except the Situation Room.
Asante.
Secondly, I would say the letter and the spirit of the Constitution, or in one word, the administration of the Constitution and the laws of this country is one thing. That's the only statement I can give you. It is one thing. Thank you.
The letter and the spirit are one and the same.
How about the administration of the Constitution and the laws? That we cannot see it anywhere else.
Very good.
It's just the Constitution book that has been put into the shelf. It is not been followed.
Katiba ni katiba.
Katiba ni katiba, but we need to be people to katibarize ourselves. We are not katibarizing ourselves. Thank you.
Asante sana, Ali. Thank you very much for that contribution. Yeah, there's a lot that's happening. That, like you said, City, it's like we easily forget. And somebody said, actually, Kenyans, not that Kenyans forget. It's that Kenyans are dealing with so many things. I remember it. But
they're overwhelmed.
I'm overwhelmed. There's a lot that I'm dealing with. A lot. It's not that because now we are discussing Gachagua, I have forgotten that I need to take my child to school. It's not that now we are discussing this Cherargei bill, I have forgotten that I have a patient who is going through treatment, long-term treatment for chronic illness. It's not that I've forgotten my needs and my pain points. I haven't. But then how do we make our leaders know that those are our pain points?
You know, the entire process of even understanding what our rights are and how it is we can actually realize those rights, it's a process that we are still undergoing. And there's a reliance we've had on people whom we have elected, and we have allowed them to accumulate power that, when then exercised, often works against our interests. So the process of getting to a point where we understand that it is not treasonous, neither is it wrong, neither is it criminal to hold anyone who is in leadership to account. That when you elect someone, they must come back to you periodically to inquire as to whether they are serving you well. And you must then brief them as to what it is that you want them to do on your behalf. Yesterday, when we had the senator for Kiambu County, Mheshimiwa Gadangwa, there's something he said. And I latched onto it and I remembered. The decisions he made with regards to his support for the deputy president had to do with what his people told him. Not what he thought. That is an example of a man who goes, asks his people, and then listens to what
he listens to the ground, and so hapa, this is the way to go.
This is what my people want, and that's his job.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for your contributions, for the comments on social media. Fred Courier, yes, we see, and everybody else, Chris Maura, all the comments on YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate them, all the calls this morning. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. We will be back tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. It's now 10 o'clock. Do have yourselves a lovely day.